Sports.
We are Blackboard. We are Southwest.
Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T Ubers TV. It is a warm and windy night here in North Texas. Globe Life Park the scene. Large crowd filing in this afternoon and this evening. And tonight, it is Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. Your Rangers hosting the Cleveland Indians. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Green, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us for the Saturday night of Rangers baseball. Rangers trying to get back on the winning track. And tonight they turn to their veteran, Tom, and that would be Colby Lewis.
Well, Colby Lewis is off to a great start, as you well know, Buzz. He finished the season strong last year. He's picked up right where he left off. In his last 3 starts, he's pitched 21 innings. He's only given up 2 runs. And we're going to show you some examples of why that's the case in this little video. Likes to establish his fastball, and once he does that, then he goes to work with his slider. It's exceptionally hard on a right-hand hitter. And over the last few starts, it's been very tough on left-hand hitters as well. He's also got a nice streak going the way he's pitched in this ballpark. You look at your home park, you want to defend your home turf. Colby's done a great job of that. In his last 6 starts here, he's 2-1 with an ERA under 2 and an opponent's batting average of under 200. He's on a pretty good roll.
Yeah, and that goes back to last September, too.
Right.
So it's not just this year. It started about the All-Star break of last year for Colby, and he's continued right on into 2015. Well, the Rangers try to snap a mini 2-game losing streak tonight. Prince Fielder, who has been knocking the cover off the ball, back in the lineup for the Rangers. Indians and Rangers coming up next on Fox Sports Southwest. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The EcoBoost Challenge is on at your Texas Ford dealer. Get to your best in Texas Ford dealer today. By AT&T Ubers TV. Ubers has more live TV channels on the go than cable. and by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Well, wind rustling through the flags out in right center field. About a 20-mile-an-hour breeze out of the south. Greeting the Rangers and Indians tonight. Before we get things underway, let's head down to the field and check in with Emily Jones.
And that wind wreaking havoc on my hair, Buzz. I'll try to fight through this. Colby Lewis towing the rubber for the Rangers tonight, looking to improve on that already stellar 2.4 ERA. We know the 35-year-old doesn't like to talk about himself, so we asked his catcher to evaluate his performance thus far.
I mean, Colby's been awesome. I mean, he's been consistent, command the strike zone. I think that's been the key for him. He's throwing a strike, he's getting ahead, and just enjoying to be behind the plate every time he's throwing the game.
And I will send it back up to you guys with this little fun fact. It is Rangers Radio Hall of Famer and play-by-play man Eric Nadell's birthday today. The last time Colby Lewis pitched on his birthday, Nadell informs me that he pitched a 5-hit shutout in Chicago. Here's hoping for a repeat performance here tonight, guys.
Yeah, I'll second that, Em. That sounds like a good idea. Happy birthday, Eric. About 3 booths down from us. You can tell he's ecstatic to have another birthday. Yeah, Colby Lewis out there, and Tom's going to tell you now about the Amica Cleveland Indians starting lineup.
The Indians will start off with Jason Kipnis, who's very hot, up to .333 at second base. Carlos Santana will bat second. Michael Brantley, second in the league at .349, will bat third. David Murphy, ex-Ranger, is going to DH and bat fourth. Brandon Moss is in right field. Lonnie Chisenhall is sixth at third base. Batting seventh tonight is Michael Bourne, the center fielder. Roberto Perez gets the nod at catching. He'll bat eighth. And Jose Ramirez, the shortstop, bats ninth.
And we will take a look at the progressive scouting report on Colby Lewis. Getting the start tonight for the Rangers. Excellent numbers. He needs to find an answer to the top 3 hitters in that order. We'll talk about them as the game goes on. Just wants to continue the role that he's on. Colby said it's one of those deals where you get into a zone and you don't even have to think about where you're throwing the ball. He said you just think, I'm going to throw it out there, and the ball goes there for you. And, well, you just don't ask questions when you're in a deal like that. Don't want to wake yourself up. Command both sides of the plate with both the slider and the fastball, and that has been the key. Tom, you mentioned him setting up the breaking ball with good command of the fastball, and he's also had the ability to go on both sides of the plate with that slider almost at will, too, and that's a pretty good combination.
Yeah, when his sliders work, and the right-hand hitters, they just have an extremely tough time against him. They're only hitting overall .183 against him this year. Left-hand hitters are higher, but not that great at only .250. So Colby's off to a great start all the way around.
We'll take a look at the Ranger defense, and we'll back up Colby Lewis tonight, brought to you by Chicken Express. Outfield, that Shields getting the start in left field tonight. Leonis Martin back in the lineup. He's in center. Shin-Soo Choo is in right. Mitch Moreland at first. Tommy Field and Elvis Andrews up the middle. Adrian Beltre at third. And Robinson Chirinos is behind the plate for Colby Lewis. Well, we are ready to get underway. The Indians won 8-3 last night in the first game of this 3-game set. Indians have a 7-game win streak against the Rangers. Rangers have had a devil of a time trying to take care of the Clevelanders. Rangers also just 2-12 the last couple of years. Well, Colby will try and turn that around tonight. Here is Jason Kipnis. Big hit, a big night last night. He went 4 for 5, scored 3 times, and he takes strike 1. Kipnis a .333 average, 3 home runs, and 11 driven in. Up the middle, Tommy Field knocks it down, recovers, and the throw not nearly in time. Kipnis aboard with another base hit.
Well, when you're hot, and when you're hot, pretty much you put it in play, you're going to be able to find a hole. This was going to be a very tough play for Tommy anyway, but once he bobbled it, he had no chance. Kipnis gets down the line pretty well. He's a pretty good runner.
So Kipnis now is 3 out of 7 against Colby Lewis in his career. 1 on, nobody out. Carlos Santana, switch hitting first baseman up there. And a big rip and a miss. Santana just 227 with the average, but look at that on-base percentage, 373. And that's the main reason that Terry Francona has him batting second. His ability to get on base for the middle of the order. May not be pretty, but it sure is effective.
Yeah, he leads the league in walks.
Robinson Chirinos there to make the grab. Had to kind of stagger out of his way of his own mask. A good pitch by Colby Lewis. Gets a little foul pop. One away.
Saw him last night swings through some very hittable fastballs. He had a pretty good fastball to hit on the first strike and swung and missed at it. Popped up a decent pitch to hit. He's got some power, and so pitchers are careful to him, and he'll work the count. Not hitting for average, but he'll take a walk. On base percentage is pretty good.
Now here's the hottest Indian hitter, and that would be Michael Brantley. Colby just missed the outside corner. Brantley at 349. As Tom told you, second in the American League with that average. Career against Colby Lewis, 4 out of 12 with a home run. The on-base percentage, 427, way up there in the stratosphere. 1-0 pitch coming. A ball and a strike. Brantley has enjoyed hitting against the Rangers his entire career. A 309 average in 35 games with 3 home runs. And he's driven in almost a half a run per game. Now Kipnis at first, 1 out here in the first. Popped him up. That, unfortunately, though, will be back in the seats. Over to take a look, Robinson Chirinos. Really does move the count to a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, 2 big guys went after that ball. It might have hit one of them right off the head. They're still looking for the ball. Bounced way up in the air. See if we can see this one hit. Just going to have to take my word for it.
I believe you saw
I
it.
say he got hit right in the head. Cannot refute it.
Colby a check of first. And Brantley laces one to left. Delino to Shields going toward the line. He slides, and it is a foul ball. Joe West down there to make the call. Delino to Shields coming up with it, but it was in foul territory. Well, we'll reset and try it again in a ball and 2 strikes.
Boy, that was just barely
That
foul.
was.
That's a tough left field corner right there. Going as fast as you can. You have to slide, otherwise you have to pull up short. That's the only way you can really get to the ball without smashing into the wall.
Delino's got part of the warning track in his glove and probably in his pants. Maybe on his elbow. Now Terry Francona out there to talk to Joe West. Could be that they were looking at that replay upstairs and felt that where he touched it, where Delino touched it and where the ball came down, the ball might have been touched in fair territory. So they're going to have a challenge on that. And Terry Francona out there, and Joe West, who is both the crew chief and the third base umpire, along with the second base umpire, Rod Drake, will put the headsets on, and they are going to get in touch with Replay Command Center back in New York. So a challenge about the fair or foul call of that last ball slicing into the left field corner.
Well, Jeff Bannister had a pretty good look at it. His seat is almost on the left field foul line, so he had a pretty good look at it.
Yeah, I guess the question would be, when he touched it, was his glove on the line or in fair territory? I mean, in the fair side of that.
I don't know how you can overturn it.
I don't either.
Now, on the other hand, if it was called fair, I don't think you could overturn that either.
Yeah.
You just don't have the perfect look right straight down the line, and it's tough to tell. I could see why they challenged it, but I don't know that with that angle you can definitively say
You could
that
probably
it wasn't foul.
Yeah, you could probably infer that it was probably fair or foul from that angle. But I don't think you can defend. I agree with you. I don't think you can definitively either overturn the call or uphold the call.
Yeah. Actually, the umpire had good look as anybody did. He's right on top of it.
Well, they're taking a lengthy look at it back in New York. Remember, it has to be clear and convincing evidence exhibited through video to the replay umpire back in New York at the Replay Command Center. And if he feels that there is clear and convincing evidence to overturn, he will read that out. Now there's a shot right down the line. That's from our high first base camera. Get a good idea of the grimace and the pain exhibited by Delino DeShields, but I don't know whether you could even tell from that angle if the ball was touched in fair territory. The two interested parties on either side of the umpires. Terry Francona on your left, and of course Jeff Bannister on your right. Joe West and Rob Drake. Rob Drake on your left. The umpires waiting for a decision out of New York. And Rob Drake's telling Robinson Tree, let's go ahead and let Colby Lewis throw a couple of pitches while we wait for the decision to be handed down. It looks like Rob Drake's getting set to take his headset off. Yeah, maybe he's not. This might be one of the longer looks that we've had on a challenge. Now let's see how the play is ruled. It is a fair ball.
Wow.
And what they were taking a long time for was the placement of the runners. So what they're going to do is put Brantley at first base, and over to third goes Kipnis. Oh, there are going to be runners at the corners. Now he's going to second base. Okay, I was going to ask why in the world Brantley would only get one base on that. The umpire's judgment's back there. That's where they would have ended up had the play been called a fair ball right from the get-go. So second and third now with just one out. Brantley credited with a double.
I don't see how they could overturn it based on what we saw. And they saw the same thing.
David Murphy, former Ranger, up there DHing tonight for the Indians. 0-1 the count. Murphy, a .292 average. 3 home runs, 7 RBI, road career. A .263 bat is David Murphy. Rangers playing the infield back. They will give up the run for an out here in the first inning. And Murphy, a fly ball, pretty well hit to right field. Chu has a play on it. Tagging at third is Kipnis. He will score. On to third goes Brantley. David Murphy with the sacrifice fly. And the Indians have a 1-0 lead. Well, Murphy drives in his 8th run of the year with the sac fly. 2 outs now. Brandon Moss coming up. Michael Brantley over there jawing with Adrian Beltre and Joe West.
I still say Joe West had the best look at it. He was right on top of it. A better look than the guys in New York had. He's been umpiring for 37 years.
Yeah. Brandon Moss, .229 average, but he has some power. 5 home runs and 22 RBI. Moss 2 for 9 against Colby. And he takes the pitch just a little bit low for ball 1. One of the 2 hits against Lewis for Moss was a home run. off the end of the bat. That's going to fall into center field for a base hit. Brantley scores, and Moss, with a little cue shot out to center, gives the Indians a 2-0 lead. Well, Brandon Moss drives into his team-leading 23rd run.
I got a ground ball up the middle for an infield hit. A questionable double sliced down the left field line, and then there's a little blooper right off the end of the bat. 2 runs against Colby in the first inning. He'd only given up 2 runs in his last 3 starts, 21 innings. Let's see where that ball hit. The bat vibrate, hit right off the end of the bat. So it didn't go far enough for Leonis to catch it.
First pitch to Lonnie Chisenhall is in for a strike. Brandon Moss with the looping base hit. Chisenhall, a .219 average with 3 home runs and 15 RBI. That ball in the dirt. Chirinos, oh, what a great block that was. Got his whole body in front of that, took it right off the chest protector, and that prevented Brandon Moss from scampering into scoring position. One ball and 1 strike. And base hit down the right field line. That falls in. Around to third goes Moss. So with 2 outs now, that is the 2nd consecutive hit, the 4th hit of the inning. And Mike Maddox is headed out to the mound. Slow this thing down and try and turn the tide.
They haven't hit a ball hard yet. That ball jammed him a little bit. Just kind of looped it into right field. One off the handle, one off the end of the bat. Ground ball up the middle, and a softly hit little slicing line drive down the left field line.
Well, that conference concluded. Runners at the corner. Still 2 out here in the first. Couple of runs across. Michael Bourne will be the hitter. Bourne steps in, batting .222. No home runs and 7 driven in. Bourne very much a speedster. Just 2 for 13 in his career against Colby Lewis. 1 ball, no strikes. The difference for Michael Bourne hitting in Cleveland as opposed to hitting on the road. Got a 175-point difference. He's a 125 hitter away from Progressive Field in Cleveland. And a 300 hitter at home. Saw him last night come in and play defensively in center field. 2 balls, no strikes. Now 3-0. Colby trying to get things back under control. Made a couple of pretty good pitches in the inning. They didn't turn out well as far as balls falling in. Now he's falling behind the number 7 hitter, Michael Bourne. 3 balls, no strikes. 3-1. Lewis sets a check of the runners. Pulled on the ground by the dive of field into right field. In to score is Moss. Around to third goes Chisenhall. Into second with an RBI double is Michael Bourne. And the Indians take a 3-0 lead here in the first inning. And another ball not hit very sharply.
It's amazing. We talk about finding some holes. 2 little dribblers, one up the middle. This one just barely past the second baseman on his left side. Ball's not rolling that fast. It goes off the glove of Tommy Fields, deflected a little bit. By the time Chu can get to it, Bourne turns it into a double and an RBI. Someone's got to hit one hard sooner or later. 3 runs on 5 hits, and there hasn't been 1 ball hit hard yet.
No, Roberto Perez, the catcher, takes the slider in for strike 1. Perez hitting just 161, but he does have 3 home runs. He has driven in 7. 2 of his 3 home runs have come on the road. And a chopper foul gives Colby Lewis an advantage in the count at 0-2. "35-year-old from Bakersfield, California, Colby Lewis. 150th start in a Ranger uniform. One and two. This is Colby's 6th appearance against the Cleveland Indians. Last time he faced them was almost 3 years ago, back in 2012. Colby has a sign he wants. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Colby, back of Colby's neck's about ready to turn the same shade as his jersey.
I don't blame him.
He is hot. No, I don't either. But you've got to find a way to turn that into something positive. There you go. Batting with a slider, and that ends the first inning. 26 pitches later. Indians got 3 runs. They strand 2 after a half inning. 3-0 Cleveland. Early 3-0 lead. Now here's Tom with the Southwest Airlines Texas Rangers starting lineup.
Shin-Soo Choo leads off, followed by Delano DeShields, moving from 9th to 2nd in the batting order tonight. Prince Fielder hits 3rd. Adrian Beltre is 4th. Mitch Moreland at first base is batting 5th, followed by Elvis Andrus batting 6th tonight. Leonis Martin back in the lineup in center field, followed by Tommy Field at second base and the catcher Robinson Chirinos.
And that lineup will face the hard-throwing young right-hander Danny Salazar, 25-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. Very much a power pitcher. Good fastball, power slider. And he is mixing in a curveball a little bit more. He went back to a curveball. See if he can keep the hitters a little bit more honest about the velocity. Good command for a power pitcher. He has not been plagued by the walks that a lot of young hard throwers have. He only has 5 walks this year and 48 strikeouts in 33 innings of work. Choo drives one to right field. Going back is Moss. It's over his head. 1 hop off the right field wall. Choo not stopping at second. He is motoring into third. And with a head first dive, he is in with a triple.
Well, already with 1 swing of the bat,
The Rangers have hit more balls hard in the first inning than the Indians did. The Indians didn't have any, but they had 5 hits and 3 runs. The Rangers trying to attack back against Danny Salazar, who hasn't given up much this year. Grooved a fastball, and Shin-Soo drilled it right over Moss's head in right field. Good look at the swing and solid contact.
So Chu had his 14-game hitting streak stopped last night. Starting a brand new one here in the first. Delino to Shields. Get another look at Chu. That odd little angle out there, the Globe Life part of the park. Kicking the ball away from Brandon Moss as he went for it. So Chu at third, nobody out. 0-2, the count to the Shields. Delino at 3-11. He has done a great job inserted into the lineup when Leonis Martinez has been out of it lately. Getting a start in left field tonight, his 5th start out there. 6-game hitting streak for the Shields. Right now trying to get Shin-Soo Chu home from third base. High chopper, that's going to get the job done, and Salazar has no play.
Salazar looked like he was going to throw the ball home. I don't think he had any play at the plate. It was going to be close whether he could get to Shields at first base. As fast as he was motoring down the line. Oh, whether that be a hit or an error, it'd be an RBI for Delino. Borderline whether it's a hit or not.
And chopping that right off the plate.
I think he was going to throw that ball home. He was looking toward home. Watching as the ball's coming down.
Yeah, he was setting himself to throw home.
He's getting ready to throw home. He would have had no chance at home.
They're going to score that an error on Salazar. I feel like he probably should have gotten it out somewhere. With Delino's speed, I'm not so sure about that, but that's okay.
Yeah, he might have had a chance at first, but it would have been close.
Well, the Shields with his 9th run driven in. He is at first base now. Still nobody out. Here is Prince Fielder. A quick toss over there by Salazar, who has very quick feet. Good move for a right-hander to first base. Santana showing David Rackley, the first base umpire, the ball after he thought he got the tag down in time. 0-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Salazar got called up to the big leagues from AAA on the 18th of April. He's 1 inning shy of qualifying to be among the league leaders. But when he gets that 1 inning, he will be 2 strikeouts per 9 innings higher than the second highest pitcher with strikeouts per 9 innings, was Corey Kluber.
There's a base hit to right field. The Shield rounding second. He will motor into third. The Rangers coming right back, as they did last night. Fielder with a base hit. Runners at first and third. Nobody out. And Adrian Beltre coming up.
Well, the Indians found a hole with a couple of ground balls. At least Prince hit that one hard. He found a hole between first and second. That's a pretty good fastball to his liking. Yeah, Salazar has struck out 13.9 batters per 9 innings in his short sample, 33 innings. The combination fastball slider's gotten a lot of swings and misses. But not yet in this game.
Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, out there to try and calm down his young right-hander. We'll take a look at our Kubota power stats, backing up what Tom was talking about. 48 strikeouts for Danny Salazar, the most by an Indians pitcher through the first 5 starts of a season. So Sam McDowell punched out 49 in 1968.
Wow.
You get mentioned the same.
Pretty good company.
You get mentioned the same breath with Sam McDowell in strikeouts. You have done something pretty impressive. Beltre a drive to center field. Bourne retreating, still going back, makes the catch. The Shields tags, he will score. Adrian Beltre with a long sacrifice fly, and it's now a 3-2 Cleveland lead. Adrian Beltre with his 14th RBI of the year.
Well, Salazar has been pitching great this year, so after you give up 3 in the first, it's very nice for the offense to come back and get 2 quick runs to narrow the gap to 3-2. Gets back on it fairly easily, though. Good enough for a sacrifice fly.
So 1 out, Prince Fielder staying at first. Here's Mitch Moreland. Moreland a .281 average. 1 ball, no strikes. Mitch a tough night last night. This is his 3rd game back coming off the disabled list. Had 3 strikeouts and a flyout last night. 1 home run, 9 driven in. Hot shot right at Kipnis. They will turn that into a double play, and boy, hit the ball hard, but nothing to show for it for Moreland and the Rangers. Rangers do get a couple, 2 hits, an error, and nobody left. After 1, 3-2 Cleveland. After the first inning, we go to the second, and the number 9 man, Jose Ramirez, leads off for the Tribe against Colby Lewis. Ramirez a switch hitting shortstop, 172 with the average. A home run, 3 driven in. Hit that ball hard, but pulled it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Colby back to the hill, trying to right the ship after a tough first inning for him.
Yeah, I would say, Buzz, if they hit the ball as hard this inning as they did last inning, and for the rest of the game, Colby's going to be in pretty good shape, because they really didn't hit a ball hard in the first inning. Rangers hit 4 balls harder than any ball the Indians hit in the first inning, and needed an error to get 2 runs.
Chirinos flashing that sign out for the slider, and Colby to the plate. That's hit hard through the hole on the left side as a slider hung up to Ramirez, and he popped it through that hole on the opposite field.
Yeah, good job by Ramirez. Hit that ball solidly on the good part of the bat. Came into the game at 172. Youngsters, only 22 years old.
A 1 on, nobody out. And here's Jason Kipnis for his second at bat.
Ramirez hit 300 in AAA last year and 260 at the big league level. He was only 21 years old last year when he did that.
And a strike. There's Kipnis, watching that in, and looked like he might have thought that Ramirez was going to take off. He trying to protect him a little bit. Kipnis an infield single. Hit one up the middle that Tommy Field knocked down, but really didn't have the play on. Colby with the 0-1 pitch instead. Goes first base way. Colby reading the signs. Picks out one he wants. There goes Ramirez. The pitch is outside. The throw is high and late. And Ramirez in with the stolen base. That is his 4th in 5 attempts this year.
Got a pretty good jump on that one. It was going to take a perfect throw from Robinson to have any chance to get him. Pretty good lead, pretty good jump.
Oh, man in scoring position now with nobody out. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kipnis. And he pulls it on the right side, so that'll get Ramirez over to third. Tommy Field throws out Kipnis. 1 away. Let Ramirez at third for Carlos Santana. And Colby Lewis trying to negate the effects of the stolen base and the ground out. See if he can get Santana to pop it up or hit a one-hopper right at an infielder. Rangers pulling the infield all the way in. Santana fouled out. Robinson Chirinos, his first time up. And sliders down at his feet for ball 1. Jose Ramirez yelling out encouragement to Santana. Mike Sarbaugh, the third base coach over there, giving him some instructions. Santana with 19 runs driven in this year. In the past, he has been a middle of the order hitter for the Indians. Takes that pitch on the outside corner to even the count. You know, one of the things that the Indians tried to do was go out and get some guys that they felt were better middle of the order hitters, like Brandon Moss. Kind of work around that. To left field, Delino DeShields will retreat. Makes the catch. Tagging at third is Ramirez. He will trot down the line to score, and a sacrifice fly by Santana puts the Indians back on top 4-2 now. Well, base is empty with 2 away. Michael Brantley coming up. And before we tell you about him, let's welcome in Jim Knox. Jim?
I appreciate it, Buzz. Big night here at Globe Life Park. Nice crowd, and also Law Enforcement Appreciation Night. Chuck Lodato here with us, Detective Chuck Lodato. And you guys had quite a ceremony before the game.
Absolutely. Police Officer Angel Foundation helped sponsor the night. We brought out motor officers, bike officers from across the Metroplex to help bring in our wounded officers that were injured this last year. And we just appreciate all the fan support we're having tonight.
Well, of course, we all appreciate what you guys have done, put your lives on the line. And look, Buzz and Tom, they brought their own crime scene photographer. Go ahead and take a look at this. This guy's all decked out. And take a picture of our photographer right there. You're going to have pictures on Facebook here?
That's Dan Rhodes with Arlington Police Department Crime Scene. He's here to represent our social media at the Arlington Police Department. And we have our own Facebook page, and you can follow Arlington Police Department on their Twitter page as well.
There we go. Dan's going to snap some shots of the fans in the stands tonight. Good job, Dan. Way to go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Enjoy the game. Buzz?
All right, Noxie. Is that bad when the police photographer takes a photo of you? Don't they shoot corpses?
And it says it's a crime scene?
Yeah. Or you're deceased, so I gotta...
Yeah, that wouldn't be too cool.
No. Michael Brantley fouling that pitch off. Brantley hit the disputed double in the first inning that really changed around that frame. Hit the slicing line drive down the left field line that initially was ruled foul. Delino DeShields sliding for it. Wasn't able to come up with it. But upon replay, thought that he touched it in fair territory, and Brantley was awarded a double. It set up really the 3-run inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Brantley now up over 350 with the average. 355. And it's fouled away to the left. Indians 4 runs on 6 hits in the early going. Michael Brantley up there with the bases empty. A run across. And 2 outs here in the second. Colby into the wide, the 2-2. Full count. And we'll take you back to that double. Off the bat of Brantley. Felt in New York they had enough of an angle to tell that that was a fair ball. And Brantley gone on strike. No disputing that punch out. Colby gets a strikeout. The Indians, though, get a run on a hit. And nobody left. After 1.5. The Indians 4, the Rangers 2. On Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The EcoBoost Challenge is on at your Texas Ford dealer. Get to your best in Texas Ford dealer today. Well, the Rangers come to bat in the bottom of the second. They're trailing 4-2 now as Elvis Andrus, who moved down to the 6th slot, takes outside for ball 1. Elvis at .224, a home run and 9 driven in. It'll be Andrus, Martin, and Field, the first 3 to do the swinging against Danny Salazar. Good fastball by Salazar, and it's 1-2. The Indians worked with Salazar the last 2 off seasons and part of last year. He had been a fastball curveball pitcher early in his career. And I say early when he was 17 and 18. And at the organization's request, he went to a fastball slider. He felt that would be easier on him and he'd be able to throw more strikes. But now they felt that the last couple of years that there wasn't enough variation velocity-wise between his fastball and his slider. So they suggested you go back and throw a few more of the old curves that he did. And he gets a jam shot roller to third by Elvis Andrus for out number 1.
You know, in his minor league career, he didn't strike out a batter per 9 innings. It was less than that. So I guess if you just add 1 and 1 up, the sliders made him a strikeout pitcher, you'd have to say.
Yeah, well, yeah, and now the combination of the two, yeah. And I think what it did, you know, we talked about him not walking a lot of people. I think that's what the slider did for him, too.
Yeah. Easier to throw for a strike.
Right. Well, here's Leonis Martin back in the lineup.
There was a curveball.
Leonis out a few games, nursing that sore left hand.
It's like some sort of a changeup right there. He's second in the major leagues with percentage of swings and misses, 33% swings and misses. So he can throw pitches that you can't hit, that's for sure.
He's got a real live arm. That ball darting all over the place. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Salazar, not a big guy, 6 feet tall, and he gets a chopper over to third that Chisenhall makes a play on. That's out number 2.
Salazar's last start was against Minnesota. He gave up a home run to Dozier, first batter of the game, then retired 21 straight batters, struck out 11 of them. He's had a number of superb starts out of his first 5 starts. Hasn't struck anybody out yet in this game, though.
There's a drive hit deep to left field. Brantley is watching this one go. Goodbye. Tommy Field, his second home run. It is 4-3 Indians.
I'll say this about Tommy's home runs. They haven't been cheap either. First home run went over the wall into the bullpen on the right side of the visitors' bullpen, about 410 feet. This ball jumped off his bat, went 5 or 6 rows back in left field. No doubt about it. You get the pitch right on the inside half of the plate. Put a great swing on it.
Well, Tommy Field, 2 major league home runs. They've come in the span of 5 days. Well, that's a good swing. A phantom cam showing you a good extension that Tommy got. Robinson Chirinos now down on the count, no balls, 2 strikes, and he got him swinging. Well, Salazar gives up the home run to Field. Rangers score once. We'll go to the third. It's now the Indians 4 and the Rangers 3 on Fox Sports Southwest. With the Indians, and it's also the first kids giveaway of the season. First 7,500 kids 13 and under will receive a U t-shirt. That's courtesy of Scott's Miracle Grow. Visit TexasRangers.com for your tickets today. David Murphy starting things off here in the Indian third inning. Tribe on top, 4-3. Kobe Lewis back to Murphy, who yanks one well foul down the right side.
I hope that was a seat that hit. As far as that thing bounced.
Murphy, a sacrifice fly, his first time up now with 8 RBI. Moreland bobbles it. There's nobody there as Colby thought Mitch was going to be able to take it himself, and it's going to go as an error on Mitch Moreland.
Yeah, that looked like Mitch was going to field that hard hit ball cleanly and easily be able to get to first base to beat David. But I guess, Buzz, that's why you keep on going to first, just in case he doesn't field it cleanly.
But, boy, it's real tough right about there just to not say, well, he's got it himself.
Yeah, exactly.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm looking down at my scorecard thinking there's a 3 unassisted.
Yeah, and you do that as a pitcher going over there, too. You break off hard like you're supposed to, and you start being a cheerleader. It doesn't work out sometimes.
No.
So Murphy aboard to start off the third. Here is Brandon Moss, who had an RBI single in the first inning. Moss, the team leader, with 23 RBI. Good look from right behind home plate. Our roving RF camera giving you that shot. Nothing in one. Moss, like quite a few of his teammates, having more success at home hitting than he is on the road. Pulls that one in the hole. That's a base hit. Murphy not stopping at second. He's going to third. Here comes Chu's throw, not in time. Well, after the error, a base hit by Moss. The Indians again threatening. Runners at the corners, nobody out for Lonnie Chisenhall. Went as deeply as Shin-Soo Choo is playing in right field. He's had a couple of balls that just took him a while to get to, and gave the Indians an extra base.
Yeah, he makes a fairly strong throw to third base, but he's so far back by the time he gets to it, and then once he gets rid of it, really didn't have any chance to get him, even with a strong throw.
Well, Moss is 2 for 2. Lonnie Chisenhall had a base hit his first time up there. And he pulls a ball slowly to second. Can they turn it? Not quite. In to score is Murphy. Chisenhall legs out the return. Gets the RBI. And again, the Indians have increased their lead to a pair. It is 5-3 Cleveland. Well, the error comes back to haunt the Rangers immediately.
Not a very hard hit ball. Good job breaking up the double play by Brandon Moss, and then Chisenhall getting down the line, touching that bag as fast as he can. He wants that RBI. If he's out at first base, he doesn't get the RBI.
Chisenhall with his 16th run driven in. Michael Bourne, who had the RBI double in the first that capped off that 3-run inning. Ball 1. Bourne, a .229 batter now. Chisenhall with a little above average speed at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chisenhall being held on by Mitch Moreland over there. The Rangers middle of the infield at double play depth. 2-1. Tommy Field and Elvis Andrus up a couple of steps. And shading just toward the bag ever so slightly. Adrian Beltre right at the cut of the grass, and respecting Bourne's ability to bunt and his speed. 2-2.
Took something off that, threw him a changeup.
Yeah.
Good movement right at the end. Warren didn't have a chance of hitting that one. He's out in front of it, and I don't think the end of the bat could have reached it.
I'm going to say by his reaction, he had not seen a changeup from Colby before.
I don't think so.
Chop foul, still 2-2. See a hitter have a look like that on his face, like, are you cheating? What did that thing do? You don't throw that pitch.
I don't think he's thrown too many tonight.
No.
That's the first one I've noticed. There might have been a couple other ones.
Yeah, the kind of hitter that Bourne is, he probably hasn't seen many changeups anyway.
No.
Another 2-2 coming from Colby. Good pitch on the outside. All Bourne could do is stand there and watch and then scowl. He's back to the dugout. Colby gets his third strikeout. There are 2 gone now for Roberto Perez. And before Perez steps in, let's send it over to Aaron Hardigan for a Mazda game break. All right, Aaron, thank you. Roberto Perez struck out the first time that he faced Colby tonight. Strong right-handed hitter, young catcher. To third. And Beltre goes the short way for the force. That'll do it for Cleveland. They do get a run on a hit, an error, and they leave one aboard. After 2.5, it's the Indians 5 and the Rangers 3. Game set against the Red Sox, and fans will also be treated to a post-game fireworks show set to music that will kick off the start of summer. Head to TexasRangers.com/tickets to pick up your seats. Rangers come to bat here in the bottom of the third, trailing 5-3. Shin-Soo Choo to start things off against Danny Salazar. Salazar drops in that breaking ball for strike one. Choo opened things up for the Rangers by tripling into right center field. His first time up, came around to score. He finds himself now down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Choo's average now at .239. You mentioned Shin-Soo had his 14-game hitting streak stopped last night. That was the longest streak in the American League. Second longest in baseball. High in the air, deep right field. Moss is looking up. Goodbye. Upper deck for Shin-Soo Choo. It's a 5-4 game.
Boy, so many times in the last 2 weeks, he's got a fastball on the inside part of the plate, and his bat is so much quicker right now than it was in April. He's confident, and maybe the same pitches they might have been jamming him with in April, he's lining into right field or hitting out of the ballpark right now. Upper deck shot. That might not have been as far inside as I thought, but definitely not where Salazar was trying to throw it.
Chu with his 6th home run of the year. That's most on the Ranger ball club. I think that might have been a changeup. Chopped up the middle. Ramirez double clutches and still is able to get to Shields just by a half step.
It could have been, Buzz. I didn't see the radar gun speed for it.
I was watching
by the spin.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Whatever it was, Chu didn't miss much of it. Got that about 6 rows deep up in the upper home run porch.
Got some pretty good hang time on it.
Well, Chu, the team leader now with 6 round trippers. One behind him, the man at the plate. That is Prince Fielder. A little bit low, and the count moves to 2-0. Prince had a base hit in the 1st inning. Now hitting at a cool 350. Just got into that a little bit, and Bourne tracking it in center field. 2 gone.
Third baseman, Adrian Beltre.
Well, next will be Adrian Beltre. And the big banner hanging out in the office building in center field. Congratulations on number 400 for Adrian. First at bat tonight, Beltre gave it a pretty good ride to center, but ended up with a sacrifice fly. Drove Bourne back almost to the warning track. Adrian's 400th home run last night went to dead center field. Breaking ball makes it 0-2. Our 4 leaderboard showing you Miguel Cabrera hit another home run today, and he joins Adrian Beltre at 400 on the all-time list. Duke Snider next up at 51. Beltre just getting a little piece of that to stay alive. Salazar's next pitch. Tried to reach back for a little extra and turned it loose a little quickly. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's foul backing out of play. Since the start of 2012, Adrian Beltre has hit .377 against the Cleveland Indians. 13 RBI in 23 ball games. The 1-2 again. Off the glove of Chisenhall. That's going to go for a base hit. Well, Beltre with a 2-out single is aboard for Mitch Moreland.
As well as Salazar's been pitching this year, came into the game with only 24 hits and 33 innings allowed. But the two home runs today are 7 on the season for him and right around 35 innings. So he's been a little susceptible to the long ball, even though he's punching batters out at the highest rate in baseball.
Moreland rounding into a double play his first time up. What a scorcher, but right at Jason Kipnis. Resisting a ride to center field, but Bourne stopping shy of the warning track. Makes the catch. That will do it. Rangers come up with a run on Chu's leadoff home run. A couple of hits, and they lead one. After 3, Shin-Soo Choo and the Rangers trailing the Indians 5-4. Colby Lewis going to work in the top of the 4th inning. A 5-4 ball game now. Rangers trailing by 1. Pitch is high and outside to Jose Ramirez. Ramirez started off the 2nd inning by singling and came around and scored. Joining us in the booth, as always, Mark McLemore. Mac, nice to see you. We've got a little bit of offense going on. Nobody can get anybody out tonight.
We got a lot of offense going on both sides, unfortunately. I like our side, obviously.
Yeah.
But we got to find a way to slow down this Indians offense.
Colby, one way to do it is have those cheap little dribblers stop going through and the little bloopers stop falling in.
That would be good.
Rangers are behind by 1, but they're winning the battle of hard hit balls, if that counts for anything.
Now Ramirez draws a leadoff walk. 4 consecutive innings now. The Indians have had their leadoff man aboard. And for Colby Lewis, that's the first free pass that he has issued. Colby scuffling in the pitch count department, up over 60 now, as he works in the 4th inning with 1 on and nobody out. Back to the top of the order. 3rd time that Jason Kipnis has stood at home plate. He is 1 for 2. Ball 1. Kipnis a .336 average. Mac, we were talking about the first 3 guys in this order. Just the game last night, what they've done to the Rangers over the last several years, and what they've done tonight too. Getting on base, all 3 of them. Even Santana not swinging the bat as well as the other 2, Kipnis and Brantley, but a threat to get on base with a walk and also a power threat. Pretty tough to find 3 guys in the order at the top of an order that are this dangerous.
It really is. You don't typically find 3 guys that can do that. Michael Brantley has just had a career year last year. And I think, the numbers he put up last year, I think he can probably do it again. He looks like he's on his way to doing it again this year. And we know what Santana's been able to do. And having those 3, Kipnis at the top, hitting over 330, that's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, not a whole lot of breathing room for a pitcher. He doesn't have a whole lot of leeway to make a mistake. Especially, with those guys, they do. They can definitely do some damage.
The Indians last year had a decent year. There goes Ramirez. The throw is high, and he's going to steal his second base. And he was off. What kind of a signal was that? If he was off, he was off.
He was off the base. Must not have tagged him.
No, I think Elvis probably helped his hand off.
He helped him off?
That's what it is.
Yeah, and you got to try it. You have to try it because you never know. An umpire may say, "Hey, he's gone."
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you've got to do it with a foot, whatever it is. You've got to get that. Try and get him off the base if they're hanging on. You got to try it. You just never know. It's a little bit more difficult now with instant replay. But I know back, when we were playing, you can get away with it.
Yeah, about a week ago, he looked like he got away with one like that.
Ramirez's 2nd stolen base tonight, his 5th of the year, and Jeff Bannister is out talking to second base umpire Rob Drake just to get an explanation. I mean, wasn't going to necessarily challenge the call, but what an explanation. What exactly were you signaling out there? Oh. Chopper slowly hit to Elvis. He thought about going to third. Instead, goes back to first and just does get Kipnis. The same formula that the Indians used in the 2nd inning to get a run. With Ramirez on base, a stolen base, and Kipnis a ground ball to advance him. Tried it here in the 4th, and now Carlos Santana comes to the plate. And again, the infield will draw all the way in.
That was going to be a close play at third. I'm glad he was in far enough because Kipnis can get down that line pretty good, so he almost wasn't able to get Kipnis at first.
Santana, a sacrifice fly in this situation before he takes inside for ball 1. Santana now with 20 RBI. That's a pretty dangerous 225 hitter. The guy's leading the league in walks. Breaking ball Makes it 2-0. Now Colby now getting ready for his 70th pitch of the night. Santana waiting. Colby working from the stretch. 3-0. And no easy task as Michael Brantley waits in the on-deck circle. Have the green light.
He swings and misses a lot of fastballs.
Yeah.
There's a 3-0 pitch. Might not have been a great pitch to hit, but it's 3-0. He's looking for a fastball all the way. Came up with no contact. Swung a pitch, a couple pitches like that last night. He swung and won the first time up today.
Way inside. Couldn't swing at that one. He draws the walk.
Yeah, that was something on that swing. Typically on a high fastball, you don't get a guy swinging over a high fastball.
Yeah.
You get him swinging under it and miss it.
You know, Mike Maddox out to have a chat. Got a couple of walks in the inning, runners at first and third, and one out. Quick reminder that Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with AYSO, the world's largest soccer club. Go to ayso.org/play to find your region and sign up for your fall team today. Well, Mike back at the ballpark tonight. Attended to a family graduation. His daughter graduated, got her master's degree yesterday. Congratulations to all involved. Andy Hawkins talking to him today, said thank goodness he's back. Didn't like going out to the mound. So Brantley steps in. Michael Brantley, a double and a strikeout against Colby tonight. 351 hitter. Rangers now with the infield pulled back at double play depth. 0-1. Brantley has not had a lot of good swings against Colby tonight. Brantley over the years 4 for 12 coming in, so he's 5 for 14.
Yeah, Colby struck him out with a fastball. Only the 6th time this year that he struck out.
1 ball, 1 strike. Brantley, 20 RBI. 4 home runs to go along with that 351 mark. Go to third, but not straying all that far from the bag. Jose Ramirez. Cleveland leading 5-4. Colby trying to keep that score right where it is. Runners at the corners and 1 out. Brantley drives 1 to left. DeShields back and toward the line, makes the catch. Ramirez tags, will come down the line and score. Brantley with a sacrifice fly. And the Indians now have scored in every inning. They put 1 up here in the 4th. It's a 6-4 Cleveland lead. This might be the last man standing tonight. Whoever gets the last at bat may win.
Well, that's going to be the Rangers then.
Yeah. 2 away with Santana still at first. Here's David Murphy. Ball 1.
Indians had 6 different guys with an RBI in this game.
Murphy, one of those 6, had a sacrifice fly in the first inning. Last time up, reached on an error and scored. That evens the count.
Indians have had 3 sacrifice flies in 4 innings.
Murphy hits a bullet but pulled it foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the wind continuing to howl in from right field. Wind out of the south, 15 to 20 miles an hour with higher gusts. Call strike 3. Colby Lewis getting the called third strike by David Murphy. And that'll do it for the fourth, but the Tribe scores again. They strand one after 3.5, 6-4 Cleveland. Folks, on Thursday, June 4th, the Rangers play the last of a 3-game set against the White Sox, and the first 15,000 fans will receive a Texas Rangers yearbook. Don't miss out on your chance to get this annual collectible. Just go to TexasRangers.com for tickets. Elvis Andrus to start things off against Danny Salazar here in the fourth inning. The Andrus, Martin, and Tommy Field, the first three to take on Salazar. Drops in that off-speed pitch for strike one. That was the slider. Elvis rounded out to third as he led things off in the second tonight. A ball and a strike. Elvis, a .222 average. 2-1. He peeled down to first, and David Rackley said, "Nope, that's not a swing." 3-1.
Both pitchers are having a tough time locating their fastballs.
Mm-hmm.
Their secondary stuff's not working much better either.
And that pitch is high, ball 4. And much like Colby Lewis did in the top of the fourth, Salazar walks the leadoff man here in the bottom of the fourth.
Salazar, as you said earlier, Buzz, had only walked 5 guys coming into the game in 5 starts. That's his only walk of this ball game.
A 1 on, nobody out. Leonis Martin. A ground ball to third in the second inning. Takes a strike as he bluffed a bunt. That had Chisenhall charging down the line from third. Leonis looking down to third base coach Tony Beasley to see what the skipper might have in mind. Fastball just off the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Martin apparently was telling Jeff Bannister yesterday before the game. He said, "I'm ready to go." And Jeff said, "No, that's okay. We'll give you 1 more day and get you back in there." So it's been a couple of days that Leonis has been able to take a full batting practice. Takes that pitch outside, 2-1. Saw Nick Hagedorn, the left-hander, loosening up in the Tribe bullpen. Martin waiting as Salazar sets. Foul territory, third base side. Chisenhall and Ramirez. Ramirez, the shortstop, calls him off at the last second and makes the catch for out number 1.
The second baseman, Tommy Field.
So Elvis staying at first. Next will be Tommy Field. First time up, Tommy Field launched his second home run in a Ranger uniform. Hit it over the out-of-town scoreboard about 7 or 8 rows deep into the left field seats. This is 6th straight start at second base since being summoned from Round Rock. 0-1. Looked like the same pitch he hit out. First pitch fastball. Apparently he hadn't made a believer of Salazar.
Buzz, would you come back with the same pitch if a guy took you deep? Would you come back with the same pitch next
yeah,
to that?
if I'd made a mistake with it, yeah. But if a guy did something unexpected, or if I was trying to come inside, for example, and the guy turned on it and hit it out, no, I'm not coming back in there right away. No, you convinced me. Maybe my thinking was wrong.
A lot of times the hitter's up there thinking there's no way he's going to throw him the same pitch.
Right.
And here it comes, and you go, man, I can't believe he did that.
Not that I had much experience with that, but just watching other,
Well, they said that's the ball you lined into center field off him the last time. I'm not throwing that again. He's going to get a base hit off me. We're all friends, Mac. That's why I can treat you.
I love it.
2-2 to Tommy Field.
That says it's going to rain at about 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock this morning. It's moving into the center of the Metroplex.
I was waiting for an explanation because I could not figure that out. What is that?
I thought it was a hot dog there for a second. Tommy Field out on strike. So apparently that graphic is bad luck. We don't need to have that one up there again. What was that thing?
I think they transposed the satellite weather forecast on the strike zone. Had to have something to do with the hot zone, I guess.
No, 2 outs. Salazar, just his second strikeout. Here's Robinson Chirinos, who had the first strikeout last time up. 1 ball, no strikes. Robinson scuffling a bit offensively. 157 the average. He's 0 for his last 10 times to the plate. Down the left field line, falling in a hurry. It's a fair ball. Elvis being held at third as the ball gets back in from Michael Brantley. Well, Robinson Chirinos took a page out of the Cleveland Indians hitting book. Just dropped one in just in fair territory down the left field line for a double.
I'm hoping that might take a little skip and bounce up against the wall and be a tough play for Brantley to come up with, but he retrieved it pretty quickly. Pitch up and in and out of the strike zone. You can see where it hits. Hits on the pine tar of the bat almost. Now Brantley's a center fielder playing left field, so he doesn't have any problem with that.
Well, the Rangers now with 2 outs have runners at second and third. Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, is on out to the mound. Shin-Soo Choo is going to be the hitter. I wouldn't think Callaway's probably talking to Salazar about, hey, this guy has a triple and a home run off him. You got first base open. What do you want to do?
I wouldn't throw him another fastball. We did a little research, Buzz. That was a fastball that he hit the last time.
Was it?
Yeah, that pitch up and in. 94.5 miles an hour. But he's thrown him a couple of fastballs today. He has a triple and a home run. With first base open, I can't imagine he's going to give him another fastball to hit right here.
You wouldn't think so. But stranger things have happened. Chu has the two toughest legs of the cycle. Got the home run and the triple out of the way.
Oh, right down the middle of the fastball. There you go.
AT&T U-verse rewind. First the triple.
That's the same pitch he just fouled off.
That was in the first inning. Then in the third, no doubt about that one. Upper deck, 393 feet. The guesstimate here. No balls and a strike. It's out of play to the left. Chu with 6 home runs, 17 RBI. That batting average continuing to rise despite the 0 for last night. 2 more extra base hits for Chu. He's leading the league in the month of May. 14 extra base hits. Slicing into the seats down the left side. Count stays 0-2. Chu also the monthly leader in total bases and RBI. Total bases, he's second. RBI, he's tied for ninth. There's 11 of them coming in. He now has 12 with his RBI on the home run. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chu played 7 seasons with the Cleveland Indians. Really got himself established as a major league player with the Indians. Came over from Seattle where he made his major league debut, but never really got going. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crowd making some noise at Globe Life Park. Now Chu asked for time. Salazar taking too long, and Roberto Perez is going to go out and visit with him. Perez looked at him like, are you sure you want to do that? Jack Morgan, the director of in-park entertainment, imploring the Ranger faithful to get loud. Well hit to right field. Moss retreating, but he has room and makes the catch. Salazar got it in just enough, and Chu flies out. No runs a hit, 2 men are left. On to the 5th we go. 6-4 Cleveland. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by the Mazda 6. J.D. Power has awarded the Mazda 6 highest ranked vehicle appeal among mid-sized cars. Now, the ups and downs of baseball on display here. Top of the 5th inning, Colby Lewis dealing to Brandon Moss, starting things off. Moss 2 for 2 tonight, a pair of singles and an RBI. 1 ball and 1 strike. Indians 6 runs on 7 hits. Rangers 4 runs on 6 hits. Both ball clubs have committed an error. Colby missing high and outside, and the count goes to 2-1. Moss, Chisenhall, and Bourne to face Colby Lewis. Colby now with 84 pitches as of the next one. And he misses inside. 3-1. Indians have had their leadoff man aboard in all 4 of the previous innings. Colby trying to avoid that with Moss at the plate. Powering foul ball that will get back into the seats down the right side, and that fills the count. Moss coming over from the Oakland A's in the offseason. Shore up the middle of the order. Takes that pitch, called strike 3. Had a little hitch in his get-along and couldn't pull the trigger.
2 straight called third strikes for Colby. In fact, pretty much the exact same pitch that David Murphy took the last inning. Definitely a strike.
Yep. Well, 5 strikeouts for Colby now. 1 away. Here's Chisenhall. Chisenhall had a base hit in the 1st inning. An RBI fielder's choice in the 3rd. Pulled foul, and the count 0-2. Chisenhall, a long-time Ranger nemesis.
Didn't he have that big RBI game here last year?
5 for 5, and he had 8 RBIs, I think it was. He's gone on strikes here. No chance for an RBI with that.
Well, Colby's starting to locate a little bit now in the last 3 hitters.
There's that back foot slider for you. Right down there where it's designed to be thrown. So 3 straight strikeouts, 2 in the inning, 6 for tonight. 2 outs, Michael Bourne at the plate. 0-1. Didn't really want to do it and went too far to stop it.
You know, whatever it is, Colby looks as though he's found it. Now we're starting to see a lot of swings and misses, and that's typically what he does when he's on.
Swings and misses on the breaking ball and a lot of check swings on the fastball. Guy's looking for something else. And he pops that fastball in there at the right time. 1-2 to Bourne. Had an RBI double in the 1st. Struck out last time up. Couldn't get him to offer at that. The slider down and in. 2-2. And Colby working a little bit faster too. Did miss by much. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Couldn't get Gabe Morales to throw that right hand up. Roberto Perez in the on-deck circle if Bourne gets on. And he does with a 2-out walk. Well, Bourne, one of the best base stealers in the game the last 5 or 6 years, both in the National League and in the American League. He is aboard and very definitely with 2 outs a threat to run. Go back to 2008. Michael Bourne leads all major league runners in stolen bases. He was 292. Torino's trying to throw behind him, but Bourne back. Perez tonight is grounded out and struck out. Colby trying to hang a 0 up on the scoreboard here in the 5th inning. Oh, and 1. Bourne stepping off his lead at first. Foul back. 0 and 2. Now, looking at Bourne's numbers the last couple of years, of course, he's had some injuries, but only 35 steals and 55 attempts for the Indians. Alex Claudio getting loose in that Ranger bullpen just in case. Colby, a belt high set. Tried the slider and could not get Perez to offer. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Bourne's trying to get some kind of read off Colby, but he hasn't been able to. Thought about going on that last pitch, but just didn't read it right.
Got him swinging that time. Colby Lewis ends up striking out the side, mixed in a walk in there just for good measure. Halfway through the ball game, Indians 6, Rangers 4. Leading things off, Rangers trailing by 2. You know, Mac, we had a little shot in our pregame about Delino DeShields. This is from last night. Why don't you take it and tell us all about his speed?
Well, Delino can get down the line, absolutely. You see he gets down this bunt, a push bunt to the right side at 3.54, and he's moving. Now on the swing, he still gets out of the box pretty good. He's at a 4 flat from the right side. That's just absolutely flying. When you've got a guy from the left side that can get down there 4 flat, 4-1, 4-2, that's motoring. But Lionel's on the other side of the plate and getting down that line in 4 flat. That's moving.
And about almost a half a second different as you get your momentum going on a bunt and you have to start from scratch on a swing. We're trying to come up, Mac, with some guys that in the past and present that would be those kind of runners. And if you go way back when, legend has it, and again, back then, times were kept with a stopwatch by hand. There's a little bit of margin for error. The time that you just saw for Delino, that was his time. That was scientifically measured. But here's some others. Some people thought that Mickey Mantle got down the line in 3.1. If he did, he was flying. Talked to Rick Manning about his speed, and he said he might have done a little faster than 3.5 on a bunt. Wow. I think Ichiro's 3.78 was actually on a swing, but no one gets going better on a swing, does he?
No,
do they, than Ichiro?
No, I've never seen anybody better than Ichiro get going on a swing. And I think part of the reason Delano can get down there 4 flat from the right side, even on a swing, is because he's so quick. He doesn't have a huge swing, but his quickness, he gets into top speed. I mean, I would have to say, and I played a little bit with Ricky, and at the end of Ricky's career, but played with him, through his prime. He might be as close to Ricky in quickness as I've ever seen anybody.
Wow. And you're just talking about that first step,
those
right?
first 2 or 3 steps. I mean, by his third step, they were both in full stride.
Wow. That's Rick Manning on the left right there. Analyst for the Indians. A good ball player coming up, center fielder. Buzz, you had a couple of good guys from back when we played. The one I liked was Ron LaFleur.
Yeah, Ron LaFleur. Wow. As a right-handed hitter, I don't think I ever saw anybody faster than Ron. And Ron was a big guy, too. I mean,
that's the thing. He was a football-looking kind of guy.
Yeah, he was. He could get down that line. He had kind of the same swing that Delano has, a short, quick stroke, where he never was really off balance, and he had his momentum going to first base pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that's a lot of it, having that momentum to have that, quick first step. And what I mean by that, by quickness, you have guys that are fast, and that means once they get up to top speed, they can motor. And they can usually, a lot of times, they'll be able to catch that quick guy.
Right. Yeah.
If they're running a 60, they'll catch that quick guy. But that quick first step, those first 2 or 3 steps, is just how quickly you get to top speed. You guys remember Devon White.
Sure.
Devon was fast. He wasn't very quick.
No, he was smooth.
It's very smooth. And once he got those long legs extended and got into stride, he'd run you down.
Yeah.
He'd pretty much run anybody down. And, we all know Gary Pettis. Gary was quick as well. So the two of them had different types of speed. Gary had quickness and top speed, but Devon had top speed, not quickness.
Right. Sure. Well, and I played with a guy in Kansas City like that, Willie Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Willie wasn't the quickest guy around, but he was as fast as anybody I've ever seen once he got going.
Yeah.
They timed him on a triple one time in Kansas City, going from home to third, and I think it was under 10 seconds with a slide into third. Wow. I think it was under 10. I could be wrong, but if I remember right, it was fast. Adrian Beltre with his second hit of the night. He pounds a hanger up there into center field for the 2-out base hit.
Well, some of the other guys that people have talked about, one scout mentioned the fastest he'd ever heard was Deion Sanders, and he thought he got down the line in 3.33 seconds. Billy Hamilton reportedly was timed at 3.3 on a bunt against Yu Darvish in spring training. Another scout mentioned, let's see, Joey Gathright and Ichiro, another 2 fast guys, 2 other fast guys. Mike Trout, I'm sure, lights up the stopwatch. Another guy that doesn't play on a regular basis, Peter Borges, used to play with him in Anaheim. He can really run.
Yeah, we were always wanting to see a race between those two to see who was faster.
Yeah.
Never did get that race.
No, you're never going to get those kind of races. We talk about that all the time. They should have a race at the All-Star game. Home to home at the All-Star game. Who can get around the bases the fastest? 60-yard dash, something like that.
Moreland to the gap in left center. That is down. It's going to the wall. Beltre being waved around third. He will score without a throw. And Mitch Moreland with the RBI double. It is a 6-5 game.
And Mitch had a tough night last night. He struck out 3 times, but he's hit the ball hard all 3 times tonight. He hit into a double play his first time up, but it was a smash right at the second baseman. Then he flied out to the warning track in center field, and he just got this one past Michael Brantley in left center field for an RBI double. Fastball up and out over the plate. It's only been 6 starts so far this year for Salazar, but this is by far the hardest he's been hit this year.
Well, Mitch Moreland drives in his 10th run of the year, and the Rangers pull back within 1. And Moreland out at second. Elvis Andrus has drawn a walk and grounded to third. 0 for 1 tonight, hitting at .222. those two guys out there for Cleveland, Brantley and Bourne, you have to hit the ball hard, and you've got to hit it exactly between them if you expect to get it by him. Those guys can cover some ground.
No, the other race I'd like to see that's obviously impossible, Mike Trout and Bo Jackson. Love to see it. Love to somehow be able to pair those two guys. Obviously.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a fair race now.
But in their prime. And, you know, you put a Deion Sanders in there, too. Football players playing baseball. Yep, Mike Trout. You have to think he would have been a great football player. Get up there.
Up the middle. That's a base hit. Moreland coming around. And Bourne will not make a throw. The Rangers have come back to tie it. Elvis's RBI single. It's 6-6.
What a surprise. Elvis getting a hit against Cleveland.
Yeah.
If you like scoring, this is a pretty good ball game. Not many zeros put up on the board in this game.
Hanging slider.
There's been 12 runs scored in this game, and 12 different hitters have 1 RBI.
Wow. It's called spreading throughout the lineup, isn't it?
And Elvis's base hit is going to drive Danny Salazar from the game as Terry Francona has gone out and taken the baseball from him. You know, the Rangers come back with a couple of runs here, and they may not be finished. 6-6 the score. We'll take a timeout. Be right back to Globe Life Park after this. All right, Aaron, thank you. Mark Zubchinski, the left-handed specialist for the Cleveland Indians, on his 18th game. Only 8 2/3 innings of work, so he is a left-handed matchup guy. On here to face Leonis Martin. Rangers have come back to tie the ball game with 2 here in the 5th inning. And Elvis over there at first draws a throw.
Yeah, the 5th inning started with 2 strikeouts. It looked like Salazar was going to finish strong. 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts. Single, double, single.
Leonis tonight has grounded out and popped out. 0 for 2 in his return to the lineup. Now down in the count, 0-2. You remember a couple of weeks ago down in Houston, rolled over on his left wrist, and then at the start of this homestand got jammed a couple of times. That left hand kind of puffed up on him. Got a cortisone shot, and he's back in there couple of days later. Zepchinski, a check of first. There goes Elvis. The pitch is inside. The throw is into Elvis, and it goes into left field.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
He can make it. Here comes the throw from Bourne. The slide they got. Saved Elvis at home.
Wow. Got that hand in there.
Yeah, you can watch a home run or a grand slam, but it's not even as close to being as exciting a play as that.
No, you're right.
What a slide, too. I didn't think he was going to make it.
I didn't either. I thought, once Bourne let it go, I thought he might have had it. But this is great on Elvis's part. He's looking for the ball. He sees it all the way, and he's going regardless. He knows where the ball is. He knows that if somebody's going to get to it, but he's got some time to get there, and he got in there.
Wow, what a slide.
Yes,
Beautiful.
he did. Gabe Morales right on top of that play.
Beautiful.
Look at the umpire. You're right. Boy, he's got his head right in the middle of that play.
Well, Elvis, a stolen base and a two-base error on the throw by Roberto Perez. What a slide by Elvis.
Well, that's some kind of two-out rally right there. A little bit of everything.
Chopper up the middle. Ramirez, a quick throw. And retired Leonis Martin. But the Rangers come up with 3 runs on 3 hits, an error, nobody left. And we will go to the 6th inning with the Rangers on top, 7-6. Mac, thanks for joining us. We'll see you after the ball.
Welcome back to Globe Life Park. Buzz and Tom, big happenings tonight. This is Will, radio affiliates here for Texas Rangers all over the state of Texas and also New Mexico. You run a couple of Ranger affiliates in New Mexico, a lot of Ranger fans in New Mexico, but you guys had quite the afternoon here at the ballpark. What did you guys do?
Oh, we had a lot of fun. They got it down. We had Kevin Minch and Jose Guzman bring us out on the field. They came all the way from New Mexico, and they made me run sprints.
They made you run sprints? But you got to meet
Kevin Minch, Jose Guzman, we ran sprints, but we also got to go in the bullpen and pitch. We got to go to do batting practice on the field. Of course, come back later and do some stuff with the actual Rangers, watch them do batting practice. But, of course, we also at one point got to go up and have a nice media interview with a Q&A session with the Rangers skipper and with Eric Nadel. So we got to go and see the man himself.
What a day, Will. What a day. I know you guys had a lot of fun, and some of you guys took batting practice, I hear. So big time at Globe Life Park, Ranger Affiliate Day. Buzz, back to you. Appreciate it.
All right, Noxie, thank you. Alex Claudio on now to take over Colby Lewis, and the appeal down to first base umpire David Wackley said nope, no swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jose Ramirez, the switch-hitting shortstop, leading things off against Claudio. And he's going to ground out to his counterpart, Elvis Andrus. 1 gone.
second baseman, Jason Kipnis.
Well, Claudio gets the first hitter, now back to the top of the order. And he'll face Jason Kipnis. Kipnis is 1 for 3 tonight. Had a first inning single and scored in that frame. Since then has grounded out twice. Ball 1. Kipnis this year hitting just .218 against left-handed pitching as opposed to .407 against right-handed. Two balls, no strikes. Well, the Rangers coming back with 3 in the bottom of the 5th inning to take a 7-6 lead. One of the most exciting plays we've seen all season.
That sure was.
Elvis scoring from first on a stolen base and a 2-base throwing error by Roberto Perez, the catcher. The throw hit Elvis as he was sliding into second and carried him out into shallow left field, and Elvis got up and just motored on around, just barely beating the throw from Michael Bourne.
Well, Elvis had that exciting play in the playoffs way back when in Tampa Bay when he scored from second on that infield hit.
Yeah.
Key part of a ball game. Yeah, those are really exciting plays. Remember Josh Hamilton did that in the game against the Red Sox.
Right. Two balls and 2 strikes. The count.
You could kind of see that play coming. After the ball hit him and rolled toward left field, you could almost sense it was far enough away for him to give it a try.
Foul tip. Yeah. There wasn't any hesitation in Elvis, too. As soon as he saw where the ball went, he was at full speed going around third.
Yeah. Tony Beasley gave him the go sign in plenty of time, so he didn't have to slow down.
Now Claudio with that high set. Got him swinging. Boy, that fastball tailing into the left-handed hitting Kipnis, and a big strikeout. 2 gone.
Well, Kipnis a hot hitter too. Came in hitting .333, had an infield hit his first at bat. Claudio runs that ball in on his fist and gets him to miss it. Ended up swinging at a pitch out of the strike zone.
Well, 2 gone. Carlos Santana, the hitter. Santana tonight has walked, fouled out, and had a sacrifice fly. 0 for 1 officially. Just a bit outside with a breaking ball. Claudio behind in the count. 1-0. Santana this year against right-handed pitching, a .222 hitter. Against left-handed pitching, a .234 hitter. Crowd out here at Globe Life Park all of a sudden energized by that last half inning. 1-1. The changeup floats just out of the zone. 2 balls and a strike. Chuck Morgan in the anti-Wave campaign.
Wave really has had its day. Right, he's disgusted. At the same time, it's hard to badmouth your fans when they're coming out and watching the team play. If you want to do the Wave, no, do the Wave. I remember in Tiger Stadium when they first started doing the Wave, some people say it started at the University of Michigan, others say it was on the West Coast. Wherever it started, in Tiger Stadium, they did 2 kinds, a slow motion wave all the way around the ballpark with a full house, but the best one was the bottom deck went one way and the top decks went the other way. That was pretty cool.
2-2 pitch. That'll run the count full. Well, Santana hitting the number 2 spot. A full count, trying to get aboard with 2 outs. Michael Brantley waiting to be next. Alex Claudio retired the first 2 here in the 6th inning. Little tapper that Claudio will handle easily. on to Moreland, and it is a 1-2-3 inning for Alex Claudio and the Rangers. After 5.5, it's the Rangers 7 and the Indians 6 on Fox Sports Southwest. Time now for the Sonic Slam Inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $1,400 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Maria O'Leary from Arlington. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Maria O'Leary from Arlington will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Mark Zepchinski back to the hill and facing Tommy Field to start off the Rangers 6. It'll be Field, Chirinos, and Shin-Soo Choo. Tommy, a home run and a strikeout tonight. 1 out of 2. Batting average currently at .250. Two balls and no strikes. Zepchinski came in to get the final out of the 5th inning, but not until Elvis Andrus had worked some magic with Zepchinski on the mound. We'll get a look at Tommy Field's home run off of Danny Salazar. Three balls and a strike. Well, Field trying to get aboard to start off the Rangers 6. They'll be followed by Robinson Chirinos. Ball 4. The leadoff walk puts Field on. And now Chirinos coming up. Tonight's Coors Timeless Moment. Let's head back in the Wayback Machine. Back in 2008, May 16th, Rangers hit 6 home runs in a 16-8 win over the Astros. Josh Hamilton had a couple. Michael Young, David Murphy, Chris Shelton. Jared Saltalamacchia had joined the group. This date 7 years ago. Rangers have a couple of home runs tonight. One by the man in your picture there, Tommy Field. Chirinos 1 for 2, a double and a strikeout. He's going to bunt, but Zepchinski can't find the strike zone. 1-0. Zepchinski began in the Toronto Blue Jay organization. Made his major league debut back in 2009. Went over to the Cardinals in 2011. Adams getting ready in the bullpen. Just called up. The Indians today designated Bruce Chen, last night's starter, for assignment. And then he called up Austin Adams.
Zepchinski has thrown 12 pitches, only 4 strikes, 8 balls.
Chirino's waiting. 2 balls and no strikes. There's a base hit through the hole on the left side. Field puts the brakes on as he was hustling around second. Brantley got to the ball quickly, so a walk and a single. And the Rangers have runners at first and second and nobody out here in the 6th inning.
Well, the count goes to 2-0. You can look for a fastball. He definitely doesn't want to walk you. Got to throw you a fastball. Has to throw a strike. And that's what happened. And Robinson was ready for that pitch right down the middle and smoked it. Not that far away from Jose Ramirez, the shortstop, but it was hit so hard he couldn't react to it.
The 2 on. Shin-Soo Choo is 2 for 3 tonight. He's had a triple and a home run. He has scored a couple of runs. And he's got a couple of teammates out there on the base paths. Choo around a bunt and almost takes one in the belt buckle. 1 ball, no strikes. Choo is 3 out of 6 against Zepchinski in his career. Choo has had a single, double, and triple against the left-hander. And that just tailing back to the inside corner. Choo didn't think so. And it's 1-1. Perez flashing the signs out. Tommy Field with his lead at second. Now the left-hander sets. Way inside, 2 balls and a strike. Mark Zepchinski a little bit of a problem nailing down home plate. Larry Franconis is winning. You already got a couple of guys out there. You don't need any more base runners. And the Fox tracker showing you.
It's lucky one of those is a strike.
Yeah. Choo not able to check his swing. Boy, Zepchinski be tough on left-handers. That ball boring in on him when he gets it on the inner part of the plate. The 2-2. A good look from behind. A lot of movement. Underhand toss from Santana to Zepchinski, who almost came up short. Stuck his foot right straight in the ground and stopped dead. That's the ground out. That is the first out of the inning. It works just like a sacrifice, with Field going to third, Chirinos to second.
Well, he was thinking about bunting on the first pitch. Whoops, put on the brakes and softly touched the bag. Hey, that one worked just like, you're right, Buzz, just like a bunt.
Well, that's going to do it for Zepchinski is Terry Francona out there. He wants the right-hander Adams to come in and face Delino DeShields. Second, third, one out. Rangers leading by one, looking for more here in the sixth. We'll take a timeout. We're back right after this.
Park in Arlington. The Rangers looking to add to their 7-6 lead over the Indians. Leonis Martin back in the lineup tonight, and so too is Delino DeShields, continuing to make the most of his opportunities.
When this opportunity came up, I was ready to go. I didn't feel like I didn't get too far away from playing, which was good. I felt like my hitting was on time, everything. I was seeing good pitches. I was having great at-bats. And I think that was important for me, you know, just the repetition. And I'm feeling pretty good right now.
So you saw the situation there with Leonis Martin out of the lineup. He got that increased playing time and left no other choice for Jeff Bannister but to keep him in the lineup and find a way to work him in. So nice to see a guy seize the opportunity that he's been given, guys.
Yeah, you're right about that, Em. It's not only seized it, boy, he grabbed it by the throat and strangled it to death. Done a very good job. Up there now, an opportunity to give the Rangers a little bit of cushion. They lead by one, looking for more. Austin Adams, a 28-year-old right-hander out of Alabama, on the hill. He was just recalled today from AAA Columbus. And Bruce Chen, last night's starter, designated for assignment by the Indians. And Adams coming up for his third stint of the year with Cleveland. Except a couple of times in April. Made a pair of relief appearances. Going outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Our T-Mobile game changer. How about Delino DeShields? The last 6 ball games, an average at .533, 4 walks, 2 steals, 6 runs, and 9 stolen bases this season in part-time play. That's 5th in the American League among everybody, part-time or not. That's what Delino has been able to do. Check this swing. The pitch is low. 3 balls and no strikes.
Pretty good respect there. A 2-0 curveball with Prince Fielder coming up next. A lefty warming up in the bullpen. Must be Hagedorn down there.
DeShields waiting. Taken all the way. It's ball 4. And that will load him up for Prince. Right at the second step back. He is not looking to the bullpen right now. He does have Nick Hagedorn out there ready if needed. But no, he's not going to do it.
It looked like he was pitching around Delino to get to Prince. Obviously, that's not the case. He was trying to throw a strike, just wasn't able to.
Well, in our Sonic Slam inning, we have an opportunity for a sonic slam. Fielder had a slam swing, fouled it back.
Big fastball for Austin Adams, 96 miles an hour with that one.
Prince 1 for 3 tonight, had a first inning single. You got Field, Chirinos, and DeShields. Third, second, and first, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning. Inside corner. 0-2.
Tough pitch.
A little cutting action on that fastball, kept it right down there. A Fielder now down to the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Up the middle, right at the second base bag, 1, and Ramirez able to turn it over. And they get Prince to hit into an inning-ending double play. Rangers leave 2 aboard. A hit, a couple of walks will go to the 7th. It is 7-6 Rangers. It all began with Shin-Soo Choo for the Rangers. He had a triple his first time and a home run his second time. And the Rangers trailing by a couple. In the 5th inning, came back Mitch Moreland, a huge double. And then the most exciting play of the game. Elvis carrying the go-ahead run, swiping second. Ball caroms off him into left field, and he continues on around third. A great slide at the plate, and just beat the throw from Michael Bourne. Capped off a 3-run inning for the Rangers, and they have a 7-6 lead. And they now turn things over to Keone Kela here in the top of the 7th.
Good numbers for Keone. Walked a couple of guys last night, but he got a double play to get out of the inning.
Keone with his 19th appearance. That is the most in the Ranger ball club. Facing Michael Brantley to start things off here in the 7th inning. Brantley 1 for 2. Ball 1 is outside. Brantley at .351 with the average. The RBI on the sac fly is 21st of the year. Pulls one down to Moreland. He's going to underhand it to Kellett just in time to get the speedy Michael Brantley. 1 out. So Keone gets the first man he faces. Now it'll be David Murphy. Chirinos out there to give Kellett a little extra time just in case he was winded from having to cover first. David Murphy is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly and a run scored. Reached on an error back in the 3rd inning and came around to score. Also struck out. First ball swinging. It's up the middle into center field. And a 1-out single puts David Murphy aboard. And we had seen a lot of those types of hits early in the ballgame. Thought we'd gotten rid of those, but apparently there's still some left in the bag. A 1-on, 1-out, and Brandon Moss coming up. Moss 2 for 3, a pair of singles and a run driven in. Gioni pulling the string on that one.
Nope, it's not a fastball.
Moss now 241 with the average. He is the team leader with 23 RBI, and you get a look at that changeup from Keone Kela.
Well, Moss is a dangerous guy. He's hit 55 home runs in the last 2 years. Knocked in 87 runs and 2 years ago and 80 last year for the Oakland A's. He's a good middle of the order guy for them.
Yeah, David Murphy at first. Yeah, you remember the wild card game last year, Oakland and Kansas City. He had a couple of home runs in that game and 5 RBI in a losing cause.
That's one thing you have to like about Keone. You read about him last year in the minor leagues when he was zipping through the minor leagues talking about his mid-90s to upper 90s fastball, but didn't anticipate he'd have the kind of off-speed pitches that he does at such a young age in pressure situations.
Got him swinging. And when in doubt, go ahead and reach back and go with high heat.
He threw him a couple of off-speed pitches down that he missed, and after he had that in the back of his mind, he went with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball up at the top of the strike zone, and Moss wasn't quite able to catch up with it.
Folks, the next Dollar Hot Dog Night is Wednesday, June 3rd. Rangers will continue a series against the White Sox. Head on out to Globe Life for an early summer game and enjoy ballpark hot dogs for just $1 each. Visit TexasRangers.com for tickets, or you can call 972-RANGERS. You know, Lonnie Chisenhall going the other way in the first pitch he saw and banged it into left field, a 2-out single. Runners now at first and second, and Michael Bourne coming to the plate. So Chisenhall with his second hit of the night. And Mike Maddox talking with Jeff Bannister. See if there's any special message that Mike needs to take out there with him. And Jeff just said, yeah, get out of the inning right now. Don't waste any time.
Well, if I remember right, Hawk went out there last night after he walked a couple of guys and immediately got a double play. Don't need the double play, but we'll take the ground ball.
Everybody patting each other on the chest. So, yeah, let's go.
We got a plan.
So 2 on, 2 out. Michael Bourne has doubled, struck out, and walked tonight. 1 for 2. Average at 227. Got David Murphy out at second base. Lonnie Chisenhall at first. Keone Kela sets and checks it. Drops in the breaking ball for strike 1. I think that's been a big difference, Tom. Early in a count, he's able to drop that curve in. Lately,
yeah, I've been impressed with him all season long, being able to mix in more than a mid-90s fastball. He's pitched curveball and followed up with a changeup.
Pretty well located just off the outer edge, and good tailing movement on that change. You see he comes up with the fastball here. Off the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Murphy at second, Chisenhall at first. Keone Kela has the sign and sets. 1-2 pitch.
Went straight down, didn't come across and catch the corner.
Tried the back door, but there was a latch on it.
Close, didn't quite get there.
Base hit to right field. Murphy being waved around third. The throw by Chu is not in time. Murphy slides home safely. Bourne ties the ball game. On around to third goes Chisenhall. It's a 7-7 game here in the 7th inning.
He went with another curveball, but his problem was not necessarily the curveball, but where he threw it. 2 strikes, the ball hung up. Skip was upset with the pitch before. He thought it could have been a strike. And that one's right down the middle of the plate. Got to get a little better location with that curveball than that. Guy's just trying to protect the plate. That turns out to be a pretty good pitch for him to hit.
Yeah, Bourne, kind of a contact guy in a situation like that. And breaking balls usually don't get those guys off stride the way a guy with a bigger swing would be off stride. But now Nick Swisher has come off the bench. He's going to pinch hit, and that brings Jeff Bannister out of the dugout. He is on his way to the mound, and that's going to do it for Keone Kela. Sean Thomason will be summoned from the bullpen. He will inherit runners at the corners, 2 outs, a run across here in the 7th. It's a 7-7 ball game. We'll take a timeout. Back to Globe Life Park right after this. Folks, Friday, May 29th is National Jersey Day, presented by Majestic. Fans who wear a Ranger jersey to the game that night will get to participate in a pregame parade and will receive a voucher for a free ticket to select games in August and September. Plus, Texas Ranger retail locations are offering 15% off all Ranger jerseys now until the 29th. Get tickets for May 29th at TexasRangers.com. Well, the crowd of 31,045 trying their best to get the Rangers over the hump here tonight. A 7-7 ball game. Sean Thomason now has come out of the bullpen, his 16th appearance of the year. Thomason with a 4.20 ERA, a 2.50 opponent's batting average. He inherits runners at the corners and 2 outs. And Nick Swisher, who had a big night last night, coming off the bench to pinch hit for Roberto Perez. And the first pitch in at the knees to Swisher. It is 0-1. Swisher last night 3 for 4. He had 2 doubles, 3 RBI, his first 3 RBIs of the season. Collison paying attention to Michael Bourne over there at first base, and rightfully so. Bourne, as we mentioned, a very good base stealer. Across the diamond, you've got Lonnie Chisenhall carrying the go-ahead run here in the 7th inning. No balls and a strike. Didn't miss by much. 1-1. The Fox trackers saying that, yeah, that could have been a strike. Donaldson a high set and gets strike 2. Donaldson a more effective pitcher as far as Jeff Bannister is concerned against left-handers than any other right-hander he has down there. Combination fastball, good changeup with tailing action. Good counter to left-handed hitters. Set for the 1-2 pitch. Swisher just back to available for the Indians. Came back to the active roster on the 3rd of the month with rehabbing that knee that he had surgery on last year. Kept him out for the majority of the year. In a pitch hitting role here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. High and tight. 2-2.
He got it in there where he was trying to get it. One of those could have been a strike.
Saw Robinson kind of pulled that glove back after he caught the ball. Sometimes umpires won't give you that pitch. They see you move the glove back.
Yeah, trying to trick me.
Yeah. Here's that last pitch. Watch Robinson pull that glove back, and Dave Morales, the home plate umpire, said, well, you know, he was close, but since you thought it was inside and had to move the glove, I'll call it a ball. Swing, got him. Swisher called out on strikes. He's going to argue, but to no avail. The Indians, however, get a run on 3 hits and tie the ball game. We'll take the 7th inning stretch. A 7-7 ball game. Now let's join Chuck Morgan as he introduces God Bless America.
Will you please rise as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the world. Performing God Bless America tonight is Sergeant Ray Polk of the Arlington, Texas Police Department.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Our DraftKings players to watch tonight. Adrian Beltre, 2 for 2. This evening, Jason Kipnis, meanwhile, 1 for 4 of the run. Out in San Francisco, Hunter Pence tonight, 2 for 3 with 3 runs. Jacob deGrom got the win tonight, 6 innings of 1-run baseball. Go to DraftKings.com, enter the coupon code D-Town. Adrian Beltre starting things off for the Rangers. It's now a 7-7 ball game. Hits are even at 10 apiece. Beltre come out of his shoes going after that high fastball from Adams. New battery mate for Austin Adams, that's Brett Hayes. Roberto Perez was pinch hit for by Nick Swisher. And now Hayes in to take over behind the plate. Beltre 2 for 2 tonight. Hits it in the air to center field. Play for Bourne. 1 gone. And before Mitch Moreland comes up, let's send it over to Aaron Hardigan for a Mazda game break. All right, Aaron, thank you. Well, that's going to do it for Austin Adams as Terry Francona out to take the ball from him. Going to bring in the left-hander, looks like Nick Hagedorn. We'll tell you all about him facing Mitch Moreland when we come back after this timeout. Streaming sports service is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and a whole lot more every night on every device. Visit MLB.tv for details. Nick Hagedorn, 29-year-old left-hander in, and Mitch Moreland going after the first pitch. Fly ball to shallow right field. On comes Moss, and on one pitch, Moreland is retired. Next will be Elvis Andrus.
The shortstop,
Hagedorn, 29 out of Washington, went to the University of Washington. He was acquired by the Red Sox. Acquired from the Red Sox, I should say, in the deal that sent Justin Masterson for Victor Martinez. Elvis tonight, 1 for 2. Scored the most exciting run by quite a bit of the evening. Tied the ball here, put the Rangers ahead, I should say, last time he was up there. The pitch is fouled away. Elvis in the 5th inning singled in the tying run. Got on first, and with 2 outs, swiped second. Ball caromed off him and went into left field as he slid it into second, got up and scored all the way from second. Looks like something tightened up on him a little bit from that last swing. He's doing some stretching. 0-2 the count. Elvis not pleased with missing that pitch.
He had a good swing at it.
Yeah.
It was a very good pitch to hit. Inside part of the plate, kind of ball that you can drive to left center field. But had good velocity on it. It was 94 miles an hour.
Breaking ball. That was not a good pitch to hit.
No. Could have swung twice at that ball. I would have spun right around trying to hit that thing.
Elvis now at 228 with the average. Hagedorn, a high set and to the plate. 2-2. Hagedorn made his major league debut with the Indians back in 2011. He has been up and down each year since. 35 games last year, 36 the year before. Two and two still. Target set inside, and the 2-2 pitch. Full count to Elvis. He's able to get aboard here with 2 outs. The center fielder, Leonis Martin, waiting in the on-deck circle. Left-hander's ready, payoff pitch. Line just foul. Foul by maybe 3 inches. Joe West got all excited down there at third, and the third base umpire. Watch the enthusiasm on this call.
He's lucky it wasn't fair. It would have hit him right in the ankle if that thing was fair.
Joe said, no, that wasn't even close. Brett Hayes out to talk with Nick Hagedorn for a moment. As far as Hayes was concerned, that was a little too close for comfort. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Elvis waiting again, the payoff pitch. Loop to right field. Late break for Moss. He's going to have to play it on hot. And Elvis aboard once again with 2 outs. Second hit of the night for the Rangers shortstop. And you'll remember what happened the last time he was on base in a tie ball game. 5th inning. He takes off for second with Zepchinski on the mound. Human pinball machine. That goes out into left field. And Michael Bourne just late enough. And Elvis with a great slide around the block by Perez at home plate.
That was a good throw from Ramirez, too. He was sprinting through on the run. Threw a 1-hop strike to home plate, but Elvis's slide is what got the job done.
Well, Leonis tonight has grounded out twice and popped out. Average at 203. See if Elvis can get a good read on Hagedorn. Couple of looks over there. Left-hander to the plate. Back. Saw it off in Leonis' hands, the business end. Traveling over the Ranger dugout back into the seats.
That is literally getting sawed off. Hopefully no one got hurt by that bat. That thing went in hard and deep into the stands, too. Is she saying, thank goodness it didn't hit me, or did it hit her? Oh, wow. Wow. That play hit flat, too, not the jagged edge. How lucky was that? When you're sitting up there watching a ball game, you don't really expect to get hit by a bat sitting up there. A ball maybe, but not a bat.
And you saw the jagged into that. Oh, that's a lethal weapon going in there. Goodness. 0-1. The count to Leonis Martin. Elvis is caught in the middle. And they're going to make a bunch of throws.
How not to do a rundown right here.
Yeah, Elvis finally tagged out by the catcher, Brett Hayes. Elvis picked off in his attempt to go to second base, and that'll do it for the Rangers. No runs a hit, nobody left. We'll move on to the 8th inning. Rangers 7 and the Indians 7.
And Tom, time for the Progressive Fan of the Game. We got to give it to Justin. Comes in from Temple. He's getting married in a couple weeks, so he brings his dad, brings two of his best buddies, and his future father-in-law. Could have gone anywhere else. Why here at the ballpark, Justin?
We all love the Rangers. I was at school at Brookhaven. Go Bears. And there's nothing wrong with coming to the ballpark. Every day's a good day for a Ranger game.
Well, congratulations. There's the bag. And let's go down the future father-in-law. Chris, what do you think about your future son-in-law, huh? Really? Oh, you're kidding. I know you are. Okay. You guys have a good time. All right. Appreciate it. Way to go, Justin.
At least they're enjoying the ball game.
Yeah. John Tolleson out to start the 8th inning, facing Jose Ramirez. Switch hitting shortstop. Ramirez 1 for 2 tonight. He has scored a couple of runs. Also walked along with his single back in the 2nd inning. 7 runs on 11 hits for the Rangers, 7 runs on 10 hits for the Indians. The pitch in at the knees. It is a ball and 2 strikes. Tolleson came on to work to the pinch hitter, Nick Swisher, who was the switch hitter. Struck him out looking in the 7th inning. That ended the threat. Tommy Field throws it away at first, and it gets by. Now they've got a chance to get him, and they get him at first base. Wow. Ramirez had made a move as if he were going to go to second. And Robinson Chirinos back into play up, able to nab him on the throw back to Moreland.
There's one you don't see very often, but Robinson was in perfect position. He lined up the angle where the throw might go wild if it did go wild. Tommy has plenty of time, just throws it to the wrong side of the base, but there's Robinson, picks it up, throws it to Mitch, who dives and makes the tag. What a play.
Something you work on in spring training every day, isn't it? That 4-2-3 put out.
Oh, Ramirez saw the ball go by the first baseman and just assumed he was going to be able to go to second base. Didn't know that Robinson would be right there to back it up. That's an exciting play.
We've had some of those today. No, one out, back to the top of the order. And Jason Kipnis, who takes inside. Kipnis 1 for 4. Moreland.
He knows what's coming, and he makes the tag. Nice play, Mitch. Heads up play by Robinson, too. He was right in the exact right place to be.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down the right field line, it is in, and it may be extra bases. Kipnis is going for 2. The throw by Chu is late. And Kipnis in at second with a 1-out double. And thank goodness for Robinson Chirino's heads-up backup play. That would have been a run. So Kipnis with his 9th double of the year. Now at second with 1 out.
Pretty good pitch by Sean Tollison, really. Inside where he's trying to get it. Kipnis got the good part of the bat on it, too. Good hitter right now. Andy's hot right now. Good hitter. Andy's hot right now. 2 hits today. 2 more hits. End of the game hitting .333.
Well, with Kipnis at second, here is Carlos Santana. Off speed and in for strike 1. Santana 0 for 2 officially. He's popped out, grounded out. Also had a sacrifice fly and a walk. Kipnis getting his lead out there at second. Elvis Andrus right behind him. And Sean Tollison, just keep an eye on him. Elvis pointing out to Leonis Martinez, said, keep an eye on now if I break to the bag, and you've got to be coming in if there's going to be a throw to second, just in case it gets by me. Oh, 0-1. Santana, a .223 hitter as he faces Sean Tollison. Santana, all 4 of his home runs have come against right-handed pitching this year. And 15 of his 20 RBI against right-handed. .253, the Indians' average with runners in scoring position. Shot that pitch foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Tonight, it's been a wild ball game. A lot of scoring. There have only been 5 half innings out of the 14 that have been played. The team didn't score. Indians threatening here in a 7-7 ball game. Just a bit inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Collison leaning in for the sign, now sets. Another chopper foul outside first.
Talking about Santana's leading the league in walks this year. Last year he walked 113 times. He only hit .231, but he hit 27 home runs and walked 113 times.
Yeah, that's a dangerous .230.
Yeah, it adds up to a pretty good year.
Sure does.
And forget the .230.
Fouled that one out of the glove of Robinson Chirinos, and the count remains 2-2. Yeah, and it's almost exactly what he's doing right now. It's the same idea, hitting in the mid 220s with 4 home runs and 20 RBI.
Yeah, he's on pace to walk over 100 times again.
Kipnis reestablishing his lead out at second base. And Tollefson set to work. Elvis keeping a close eye on Kipnis out there. That's in the dirt, and Chirinos a nice job of keeping that near home plate. 3-2 to Santana. Santana hitting second in the order. And the dangerous Michael Brantley again looming in that on-deck circle. Series of signs from Chirinos, agreed to by Tollefson. Payoff pitch. Room in the changeup, and Santana able to get a piece of it. Wind continuing to blow briskly in from right field.
Any of you members at Lakewood Country Club, if you look right behind Santana, you might see the great Y.J. Sun. His son Henry right there. If you're a member of Lakewood, he's probably taking you for a few bucks every now and then, too. He can hit a low hook, boy. I'll call it a draw, not a hook.
Santana doesn't know it yet, but he was just called out. Gabe Morales rang him up while Santana was reaching down to take off his shin guard. And Terry Francona obviously does not agree with that call.
Yeah, they're both probably saying, don't you know who that is? He walks 100 times. If he doesn't swing at it, it can't be a strike. Let's see where it was. Well, it's a borderline pitch. It's been a strike on a lot of other guys tonight.
Yeah, Santana had a delayed reaction. He said, what? Well, Tollefson's had 2 strikeouts tonight. They've both been on a called third strike on a 3-2 pitch. Nick Swisher, the first hitter he faced, and now Carlos Santana. Mike Maddox out to talk with him, with Jason Kipnis carrying the go-ahead run out there at second base. Michael Brantley is the hitter, and you've got first base open. Conversation here is if you want to pitch to Brantley, how are you going to go about it? And if you don't want to pitch to him, let's just go ahead and walk him. Probably won't be one of those don't walk him but don't give anything good to hit situation.
Yeah. If they did walk him, I certainly wouldn't argue with it. Brantley's made a believer out of us.
He's hitting .348. Had an RBI tonight, so he has 21 for the year. And they're going to go ahead and put him on. And I think
I'm buying that.
Yep, me too. Well, they will leave it up to David Murphy, former Ranger. He is batting cleanup tonight, DHing. And it's not, don't mean any offense to David Murphy, but of the two, I'm not facing Michael Brantley.
Yeah, there's not many guys batting behind him that I still wouldn't walk Brantley. Might not walk him to face Miguel Cabrera, but I might walk him to face almost anybody else.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the fourth wide one is delivered, so Brantley will take first, the intentional walk. 2 on with 2 out, and David Murphy coming up. Murphy singled in the 7th inning with 1 out. Came around to score the tying run at that point. And David 1 for 3 tonight. He has scored 2 runs. He has driven in a run. Hitting .294 with 8 RBI. Ranger infield shading him around to the right. Not an extreme overshift, but a definite leaning to the right. Tommy Field out there about midway between first and second. Elvis up the middle. And Murphy takes the off-speed pitch for ball one. Murphy hitting out of that very familiar wide open stance. And another changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. This season with 2 outs, runners in scoring position, David Murphy 0 for 5. 2-1 now. Ranger fans will remember David Murphy, a very good fastball hitter. Especially you get it out over the plate a little bit. John Tolleson with that great changeup. And an adequate fastball to go with it. That was a well-placed fastball inside. 2-2. Murphy having to fight that one off.
I'd be trying for the Murphy zone right here.
Yeah, sure.
About an inch outside.
That was the reverse Murphy zone up there.
Right.
Tolleson ready for the 2-2.
That's the Murphy zone.
Adrian cuts it off. He has no play at second, and he's going to have to put it in his pocket. Murphy will be aboard, and the overshift that time really played into the hands of David Murphy. He hit it right at a normal shortstop spot. And by the time Beltre got it and Tommy Field got near second from the spot he was at, there was no play there.
Yeah, Adrian wanted to throw to second, but Tommy is shading over toward first and deep. And just couldn't get there in time. That's when you pitch David way out there, he can still hit the ball to left field, but he can't drive it with the authority that he can if you bring it in a little bit. So that was a well-placed pitch by Sean. David just hit it to a good spot in the infield. The Rangers couldn't make a play on it.
So the bases are full with 2 outs. Brandon Moss is the hitter. 0-1. Moss trying to climb that ladder and didn't have an extra rung on it. Sean Tolleson fired that pitch. Moss tonight 2 for 4. 2 singles, 2 strikeouts. Way up and in. And Robinson Chirinos having to come out of that crouch in a hurry. 1 ball, 1 strike. Moss just a .239 average, but go back to the latter part of April. He's hit better than .270. Leans on that offering. 2 balls and a strike. Team leader with 23 RBI this year. And now Robinson Chirinos is going to go out and have a chat with Sean Tolleson. They're going to get their signals straight face to face. Mike Maddox, Jeff Bannister, very, very interested spectators at this point. Bases are loaded, 2 balls and a strike with 2 outs. John Tolleson facing Brandon Moss. Liner, but right where Elvis was positioned. Up the middle, and that will do it as the Indians get the bases loaded, but leave them full. 2 hits and a walk. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Rangers 7, Indians 7.
at the bottom of the 8th here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. This is the second of 3 between the Indians and the Rangers. They'll close this one out tomorrow afternoon. 2 o'clock first pitch. Setting up to be a pitcher's duel. Nick Martinez in his 1.88 ERA will toe the rubber for the Rangers, hopefully going for a series win if everything works out here tonight. And, of course, all of this brought to you by AT&T Uverse as we get you set for the finale tomorrow at 2, guys.
All right, Dan, thank you. Well, Leonis Martin leading off the Ranger 8th inning. Martin 0 for 3. He was left standing at home plate when Elvis was caught taking liberties at first base in the 7th inning. No balls, 2 strikes to count to Martin. Leonis batting average now down to .203. Call strike 3. Hagedorn, the bottom of the zone on the inside corner. He gets his first strikeout. 1 gone. Tommy Field now coming up, and he will not face Nick Hagedorn. Terry Francona making his way out to the mound. So he doesn't want the left-hander to face Field and then Chirinos here in the 8th inning. Takes the ball, gives Hagedorn an attaboy, and that will do it. So the call to the bullpen will bring in a right-hander. We'll tell you who it is and how he matches up against Tommy Field when we come back after this timeout. A 7-7 ball game, and Terry Francona going to the bullpen. Scott Atchison, 39-year-old from Keller, the TCU product, on now, and second time in this series we have seen the veteran right-hander facing Tommy Field, who is 1 for 2 with a home run tonight. Field, along with his home run, is also walked. Struck out in his only other official at bat. Looks at a strike from Atchison. Atchison last night worked 1 inning, gave up a hit and a strikeout. That was all on his ledger. 1-2 to Tommy Field.
Pretty much everything's going to go right to left with him, whether it's a curveball, slider, cutter. Not much in the way of anything straight.
Well, at the end of the bat, out to Kipnis. That is out number 2. Yeah, you're right. It's nothing secret about it. He's been doing it for a while.
Yeah. 39 years old. He's had a nice career.
Well, base is empty, 2 away. Robinson Chirinos now will step in. Chirinos having a good night. Robinson 2 for 3, a single and a double. He had snapped an 0 for 10 with his double and added a single in the 6th inning.
Go back to 2008, 2009. Scott spent a couple of years in Japan. Started his career in 1999. A total of almost 6 years in the big leagues, total service time.
The 1-1 pitch. 1-2. I don't think that was where Scott Atchison necessarily wanted it, but worked out okay. Back to the plate. And missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Rangers continuing to swing the bats well. 16 games in the month of May. They have hit better than 265. Came into the game with a team average of 233. That was 12th in the American League, but it's been on the rise steadily. On base percentage now right in the middle of the pack. Chirinos a drive. Deep to left field. Back is Bradley. Goodbye. Robinson Chirinos unties the ball game. His 3rd home run of the year. The Rangers lead it 8-7.
Well, Robinson got exactly what he was looking for if he wanted to put the Rangers ahead. And that was a hanging breaking ball right near the center of the plate. 3rd straight hit for Robinson in the ball game. Double single, and now a long home run to left field on a breaking ball that stayed up and right near the middle of the plate for him.
And a dugout full of smiles, and you can understand why. Robinson Chirinos leaving the ballpark.
Rangers have seven players with 1 RBI in this game.
Now Shin-Soo Choo lays down a perfect bunt, and he'll beat it out.
This is the definition of a hanger right there.
Solid contact, not a bit of waver in that bat. Like they say, he didn't know it was gone till he hit it.
He didn't know it was gone till it first touched the bat. It's one of those balls, when you hit it, you can't feel anything in your hands. It's just perfect contact. No vibration at all.
Scott Atchison trying to get things back together after the home run. Shin-Soo Choo laid down a perfect bunt for a base hit. Now Delino to Shields at the plate. The Shields 0 for 3. But he has been on a couple of times, reached on an error. Had an RBI in the 1st inning on that ball. Chops one slowly to 3rd. Chisenhall across the diamond. That'll do it. But the Rangers take the lead. Robinson Chirinos, the 2-out solo home run, will go to the 9th inning. The Rangers 8 and the Indians 7.
Rangers homer tallied at Globe Life Park tonight as Robinson Chirinos' solo just moments ago lifts your Rangers over the Indians 8-7. It also goes along with Tommy Field's second career blast this week. In fact, it was certainly a night to relive, and we will do so with Mac and Pudge on the post-game show. We will also evaluate Colby Lewis's 5-inning outing and get you plenty of clubhouse reaction on this one as we get you set for the series finale. Tomorrow, it's Rangers Live post-game immediately following as we get you back to Buzz and Tom for the finish of this one, guys.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Well, it is Neftali Feliz time, and he's working with the battery mate who had changed his score all around. Robinson Chirinos, the 2-out home run in the 8th inning to give the Rangers the lead. And now Neftali Feliz on for his 16th appearance, trying to get his 7th save in 9 opportunities. League hitting .292 against Feliz. And Neftali has been a little bit up and down. He's thrown the ball well of late. And he's dealing here to Lonnie Chisenhall, opening up the top of the 9th inning. Chisenhall is 2 for 4 tonight. Couple of singles. He has driven in a run. With the breaking ball, and Chisenhall now down in an 0-2 hole.
He got him in a 0-1 hole with a nice fastball for a strike, then dropped a curveball out of the strike zone. And Chisenhall was a little over anxious down in the count 0-1. Now it's 0-2.
Chisenhall, as you saw, 1 for 3 against Neftali Feliz. Golfs that one out of play to the left. Still 0-2. Feliz, the 27-year-old out of the Dominican Republic, settling back into that closer's role, and spot that he reclaimed last year, the second half of the season. Just high. Effie had 30 appearances last year, 13 saves. After battling a couple of years coming back from the Tommy John surgery. 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Rangers 8 runs on 13 hits tonight. Indians 7 runs on 12 hits. Rangers with 3 home runs. They have all been solo blasts. Down the right field line, that is going to be in, and it's not deep enough, so it's going to be a double, looks like, for Chisenhall. In ahead of the throw by Shin-Soo Choo, and now the Indians have the tying run aboard with nobody out here in the 9th inning. Elvis looked like he took the brunt of that hard slide by Chisenhall at second base.
He's trying to get the ball in. Got it in, but not quite far enough. Chisenhall didn't hit it off the good part of the bat. It was kind of blooped down the right field line. Chu had to go all the way over to get it. And by the time he did, he couldn't stop Chisenhall from getting to second base. In that situation, you're playing a little bit deeper than normal with a 1-run lead. You don't want a ball hit over your head. But at the same time, when it's hit a little bit away from you, you've got so far to run for it. You still can't keep him from getting to second base.
Well, now the Rangers with the cornermen, the infield in, Michael Bourne at the plate. And he swings the first pitch and pops it up on the infield. There is a huge out number 1 as Elvis takes care of it.
That is not a real good at bat right there for a veteran player. You got to figure a way to get that guy to third base. Either pull the ball on the ground or bunt it or something, but pop up to the left side of the infield, it's not really in the game plan right there.
And 3 Rangers on the mound probably giving thanks for that pop-up. So 1 out. And now Brett Hayes, the catcher, will step to the plate. Hayes entered defensively in the 7th inning. Brett got the start last night, had a home run in that ball game. One off of Yuji Fujikawa. Breaking ball is a bit low from Feliz. 1 ball, no strikes. Hayes, a 172 hitter. That home run is 3rd of the year last night. 6 RBI. Lonnie Chisenhall out at second base, carrying the tying run here in the 9th inning. 2 balls, no strikes.
It's one of those innings where you start looking at the top of the order and how many outs and how many guys are left, and you say, let's get these next 2 guys so Kipnis doesn't get a chance to hit. He's hot.
Feliz a check of second. And the breaking ball, a check swing, no swing. And David Rackley down there at first base. It is 3 balls and no strikes. Hayes hitting in the 8th spot. Will be followed by the shortstop, Jose Ramirez.
First base is open, but this is not a guy you want to use first base open for a reason not to go right after him and get him out. There you go.
Down the middle with the fastball. 3-1.
Popped that one at 95 miles an hour.
Dave Magadan and Jeff Bannister, Mike Maddox right there on the top step. Kevin Harmon, the trainer. 3 balls, 1 strike. Feliz back to the plate. Breaking ball that gets away and bounces over the screen. That is going to allow the tying run to move down to third. Chisenhall gets an extra 90 feet, and it puts the go-ahead run at first with 1 out on the walk.
That stage of game with that hitter, that's someone you got to go right after and get.
Well, it hit the front corner of the plate and just kicked over Chirinos and over the backstop. Yeah, I agree with the guy hitting the 8th spot. Can't put him on.
No, he's hitting 172, and I'm not trying to downgrade the hitter, but the problem is if you get around to the top of the order, then you got Kipnis, who's hitting about 340. A right-hand hitter.
The runners at first and third, just 1 out. Jose Ramirez is 1 for 3. He has had a single and a walk. He has scored 2 runs. Speedy shortstop up there from the left side. A little tardy on the fastball. Ranger infield looking for the double play up the middle. Nothing in 2. Ranger faithful hoping for the best. Fouled off. The hits are even at 13. Tying run down at third, Lonnie Chisenhall, who doubled to start the inning. Brett Hayes at first, who walked. The 0-2 down towards short. To second, they get 1. The return not in time, and it goes into the photographer's well. The tying run scores, and Jose Ramirez goes to second on the throwing error. He represents the go-ahead run. We are dead even again, this time at 8 apiece. And that will be the 3rd blown save of the year for Neftali Feliz.
Second baseman Jason Kipnis.
Well, he's a pretty good runner. And once you get to that point, there's no chance to get him at first base. I know Tommy's thinking he's going to make a desperation try to get the double play to end the ball game. But really, no chance to get the runner. Best thing to do is hang on to it.
Well, Ramirez gets the RBI. Kevin Harmon, Ranger trainer, out there to look at Tommy Field, who took a pretty hard shot down at second by Brett Hayes sliding in there. 8-8 to score. Indians and Rangers have traded blows back and forth here tonight, and back and forth we go again. Clean slide by Hayes, who just right on top of the bag. And again, Tommy Field really is a shortstop. That's where he spent most of his time. The turn of the double play from the second base position, not something he's used to doing completely, but in any event, he's played enough baseball to know how to do it, when to do it. Now Ramirez gets the RBI on the fielder's choice, advances on the throwing area. He is now in scoring position, and Jason Kipnis, who is 2 for 5 tonight, comes to the plate. Kipnis with a single and a double. He has scored a run. Kipnis 0 for 2 in his career against Neftali Feliz. Right-hander with the first pitch. Like he went with a changeup, left it way outside for ball 1. Kipnis had an infield single in the first, came around to score. In the 8th inning, he had a double down the right field line and was stranded at third. The 1-0 pitch. Little changeup. 1-1. Neftali Feliz about ready to throw his 19th pitch of the inning. Kipnis a drive to right. Chu pulls up. That ball is gone into the upper deck. Jason Kipnis, a 2-run home run, and the Indians lead it 10-8.
Kind of what we were talking about, Buzz. You got Hayes up there with a 3-1 count, bounce a 3-1 curveball in the dirt to a 172 hitter, and then you risk bringing the top of the lineup up, and Kipnis is a 340 hitter, and that's what happened.
Kipnis with his 4th home run of the year, and there was nothing cheap about that drive into the upper deck by 4 or 5 rows in right field. Neftali Feliz knew it. As soon as he heard that sound, he knew it. Now Santana, first ball swinging. And Adrian Beltre will take care of the pop-up, and that will do it. But the Indians score 3 times on 2 hits and a walk. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's now Cleveland 10 and your Rangers 8. Baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By AT&T UVerse TV. UVerse has more live TV channels on the go than cable. And by your Texas Ford dealers. The EcoBoost Challenge is on at your Texas Ford dealers. Get to your best in Texas Ford dealer today. What a revolting turn of developments here. Globe Life Park tonight. Indians with a 3 spot in the top of the 9th inning have taken a 10-8 lead, and they have turned the game over to their closer, Cody Allen. Saw Cody Allen in last night's ball game. Had a little bit of difficulty working in the 9th inning. Didn't have a walk, but was able to turn it around and get the final few outs. Now dealing to Prince Fielder, who is starting off the bottom of the 9th inning. Prince tonight 1 for 4. Single way back in the first. Also flied out, struck out, and grounded into a double play. Allen misses outside. 1-1. Cody Allen 5 for 6 in saved chances this year. Two balls and a strike. And that's the problem we saw him have last night, his location of the fastball. This was not there for him.
Well, if you look at his overall line, he's pitched 13 innings this year and walked 10 batters, so he can occasionally have a hard time locating the strike zone.
And Fielder fouls off the next pitch. That evens the count at 2-2. And Chuck Morgan, great play by the director of in-park entertainment. A catch and release up there. There you go, Chuck.
That little boy ended up with a ball.
Allen's next pitch. Fouled away. Nothing fancy about Cody Allen's repertoire. A fastball and a good hard curveball. Command can be the issue. See if the Rangers can exploit that a bit here in the 9th inning. Another 2-2. Cody Allen, a 26-year-old, born in Orlando and lives in the Metroplex now. Went to the University of Central Florida for a couple of years. Swinging. 96 and elevated. And Prince Fielder is out number 1.
Third baseman,
Adrian Beltre will be next. Beltre tonight 2 for 3. Pair of singles, a run scored. He drove in a run with a sac fly in the first. Takes ball 1. Adrian now with that batting average to .258. When it wasn't more than 3.5 weeks ago that he was hitting .140. Popped up on the right side. First baseman Santana is there. 2 gone.
First baseman, Mitch Moreland.
Well, it'll be up to Mitch Moreland if the Rangers are to continue things here in the 9th inning. Mitch, 1 for 4 tonight. Had a run-scoring double in the 5th. Also scored in that frame himself. Average at 279 with 10 RBI now. One ball, no strikes. Colby Lewis started this ball game seemingly hours ago or days ago. He'll have no say in the decision here tonight. That is outside, 2-0. Colby worked 5 innings, gave up 7 hits and 5 earned runs.
Yeah, Colby finished strong. He struck out the last 4 outs in the game. Gave up some runs early, but it wasn't because he got hit hard. He just gave up some hits that found some holes.
2-1 to Mitch. Cody Allen into the wind. Ball on a drive to left center field. Bourne and Brantley. It'll be Michael Bourne to make the catch, and the Rangers go down in the 9th, 1-2-3. And they have lost 2 straight now to the Cleveland Indians. Tonight, the Indians come from behind, 10-8 win, getting 3 runs in the 9th inning. And Shin-Soo Choo had a great night for the Rangers, but it was not enough. Choo was 3 for 5 with a home run. Aaron Hardigan and the boys will be back to wrap things up from Globe Life Park right after this.